Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Mitchell Shultz.
fellas.
Cheers.
It's fucking good to have you on here, man.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
You are you're one of those people that people either love you or hate you. Like this, there's no in between with you.
There's not. There really isn't.
And I can easily say that I love you, man. I've been wanting to have you on here for a while, and then you commented on the Instagram post. You're like, "Oh, I guess I fucking missed my invite."
Yeah,
and I was like, "All right, it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen."
Well,
But man, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while, so
I've been good, man. It's so I haven't had like an official job since the day after Thanksgiving. I went to work, gave somebody a hard time. They didn't like it, I guess.
no, they didn't.
And I'll do it again. I mean, it's just
I know you would.
if the place is that uptight, I don't gotta be there. I mean, that's not for me anymore. So since then, I took the rest of last year off. Man, I really haven't seen you.
I know, dude. I legit haven't seen you since, I guess, fucking
The
November.
last fight thing we had over at it was at your gym.
What the fuck was that?
It was last December.
Okay.
But so
Yeah, it's been a long ass time, man.
January I started being a professional gambler. The very first day I walked in there, and within 30 minutes I made $1,200.
Now, what kind of got you into it? I mean, obviously the job, leaving the job or whatever got you into it.
It's-
But you had to have some kind of background to kind of transition to that, right?
Negative.
Really?
So I didn't have the best upbringing. I mean, my mom did the best she could, but I didn't live in the best places.
Okay.
It's the 80s. It's the inner city.
You was down with the ladies?
I was down with OPP,
Oh, damn.
but
you know me.
that's it. So I grew up hustling. There was always a dollar to be made, always a buck to be made. So it's something even to this day, if I can make $1 off anything, I'm listening. I'm trying to make $1 off something. So I started looking at it. One of my old coworkers told me about it, and I started looking into it. The numbers seem right, so I got a cousin that deals cards. I called him up, said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking at." He works out in Vegas. You guys got anything like that out there? He was, "Oh yeah, I see it every day." And I was, all right, well shit, I don't have fuck you money, but I got almost fuck you money. So I was, okay, I'm recently divorced. I got my kids. This is my last chance of just saying fuck the system and go. So I did. I talked to my kids about it. My kids are 15 and 13, and I run my house like a republic. It's everybody gets insight. Everybody gets a vote.
I thought you was about to say I run my house like a Republican.
I know.
No,
Oh, that's a strange thing to
No,
say. I don't know how I feel about this.
no, it's a republic because democracy is something vastly different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So it's,
We said we were going to talk about politics. It's been fucking 3 minutes.
but no, this is just the inside my house. Outside, I don't give a shit what's going on.
Right.
I don't watch the
got you
news. I
100%.
don't read nothing. If I don't learn it from Call of Duty, it didn't happen. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
One of the first things I noticed about you is you have the mustache tattoos on your inside of your index fingers.
Yeah, so
On both of them. I was like, whoa, are those mustaches? She's like, yeah, I'm that guy. I was like, oh, okay.
you never want to be that guy.
You
Because
want to be that guy?
you look across the room and you're like, oh shit, it's that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Girls don't want that guy. Dudes don't want to know that guy. Dudes don't want to be seen by the
With that
girls
guy?
talking to that guy. You just don't want to be that guy. And sure enough, I'm that guy. So I had heart surgery back in 2011. I got a funny story that goes on to this one. So I got the black tie and then the white trash. So
It's a shitty mustache.
yeah,
I was
so-
always wondering why one of them was like way shittier than the other one.
yeah, it's purposely shitty.
Okay.
Because
makes
it's the
sense.
white trash. So You know, I always go back and get this one. Sorry.
If you guys aren't watching on YouTube, he just showcased his mustache.
Yeah, so I got my left finger's real nice, fancy, like 1800s and shit.
I like that.
My right one looks like, you know, you might want to hide your kids or
mine.
something.
Looks like mine.
Yeah, like, you know,
Your kids
I'm
or
17 or 18. I can't grow this shit in. You know, been
Once
grown
again, like mine.
So, I had a job that was pretty stressful, and I was talking to my heart doctor about it. And he said, look, you know, you need to find something that just sets you at ease, you know, because you can't be having the stress with this heart surgery. And I was, okay, you know, it's not a big deal, easy enough. Excuse me. So, I'm talking to my niece and nephew. I'm chopping it up. And then I see the finger tattoos.
Oh, yes.
I was just like, you know, I was sitting there and I always put my finger up above my mouth like this when I'm like just watching TV or talking to somebody. And my niece Brittany was like, you should get a finger tattoo on your mustache tattoo to your finger. And I was like, really? And I look at it and I was like,
You're goddamn right, I should.
yeah, you might be onto something. Then her brother comes over.
Might work out.
Her brother comes over and he's like, you know, way younger than me too. And I don't listen to myself because I know what I think. So I let some early 20 people, you know, late teens, say, hey, this is a good idea.
I love it. I love
You know,
it.
you go do it. So I look at my wife and I was like, I think I'm going to do it. And she's like, you know, of anybody, you'd be that guy. She didn't say it like that, or I'd have been like, that guy, what do you mean?
What do you mean by that guy?
Yeah, she was like, you know, you should do it. Build me up, you know.
Yeah.
Put some faith in her, man. So I called the tattoo shop up. And
They hang up on your ass.
No.
They're like, no, we're not doing it.
this is a funny part to this. This is a whole another funny part of the story. So my buddy Matt works at a tattoo parlor. He's a piercer. So I call up his joint, but when the phone gets answered, it doesn't sound like him. So I was like, hey, I want to get some finger tattoos done. Do you guys still do the $60 entry? And he was like, let me find out. And he's like, you know, it's $80. And I was like, okay, well, how many do I get for $80? And he's like, motherfucker, I don't know, but that's the right question. Come on in. So I was, all right. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go get tattooed. So I drive to the tattoo shop. I walk in, we see each other, and he's, tell me you're the mustache guy. And I was like, I'm that dude. Let's do this shit. So they're no bullshit. They hurt like hell to get them done. You got to bend your finger over somewhat and then turn your back, and it's going right onto the bone. There's no meat there to hide the shit.
Right.
It fucking hurts when you got the fancy as that one. This one, not so much. Just wisp it and you're good to go. This one, they got to dig. So I get it done. I'm still out of work for several weeks. So I'm just kind of chilling in the house. My buddy Jared calls me up.
Fucking Jared.
Hey, come on out. Let's go do lunch. And I was like, bet. So Jared grew up in the same block I did. We were from the hood together. I'm 45.
You grew up in Detroit, right?
No, I grew up in the south side of Fort Wayne.
Okay. Okay.
So I was born in Michigan, moved to Fort Wayne,
Okay.
Indiana. So Jared grew up a block away from me. I'm 45. I've known the guy 41 years. We've been together forever.
Right.
So we get out there. He said something to me, and I was like, man, let me think about it. And I kind of slide the finger over the lip, and Jared's like, tell me that's real.
Tell me that's real.
So that sounds like,
Yeah, tell me that's real.
Is that real?
And I was like, you know, let me think about that one. And he was, I got to call Dad.
He said, I got to call Dad.
I got to call Dad. And I was like, don't, man. You know, so this is back when I'm like 30. You know, I'm a grown-ass man.
You got fucking mustache finger tattoos.
To everybody on the outside,
right.
I'm a grown-ass man. So Jared works with Pops. So he calls him on the radio or the telephone. Hey, Mitch is in here to show you something. Come on in. So Pops comes in there and he leaves the door open. He's kind of eyeballing me. He's like, what's up? And I was like, nothing. And he's, what you got to show me? And I was, I didn't call you in here. Wasn't me.
Fucking asshole.
And Jared's like, do it, man. Show him. And I was like, man, just no. So Pops closes the door. He looks at me and it's permanent, isn't it? And I go back to being like 9 years old, man. I look down at my shoes. I'm trying to kick them at the floor.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And you do realize I'm going to see it eventually. Yes, sir, I know that. I was really hoping for the eventually to happen first. And he was, well, let's see that. And I was just... And he was just, are you fucking kidding me? And Jared's like, wait, there's more.
Shawn, there's another one.
And I was just, and Brian, Pops Brian, and he said, there's more. And I was,
Jared's so excited. It's
Yes,
like his
sir.
favorite moment.
so I
It's the
pull it
white
up.
trash tattoo.
I pull it up.
The white trash mustache.
Jared's over there just, yeah,
That's my friend.
we got
Yeah.
this. And
Fucking 30-year-old dudes.
Yeah, a couple of 30-year-old bros. One's a donkey with mustaches tattooed his fingers. And Pops looks at me. He looks over at Jared. Looks back at me. Turns to open the door. He gets the door cracked. Slams it back shut. And he's, how old are you now? And I think I was like 34. 33, 34 years old. Yeah, I was like 33, 34. And he's, and you thought that was a good idea.
I'm that dude.
And I was just,
That's what you should have said.
he knows.
He knows?
He's seen me grow up. He knows these stories.
Is Pops the same guy that you always show the fruit basket to?
Yeah, he's the guy getting the golf balls too.
The fruit basket.
The fruit
You gotta-
basket golf balls.
So explain to Shawn what the fruit basket
Well,
is.
First off, Pops, he was like, hey, just when I think you're getting life figured out, I'm proud of you, you're going in the right direction. You do some shit like this and totally fuck it up. The dude Dumb and Dumbered me. I mean, that's what it was.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, is he doing Dumb and Dumber right now?
Yeah, he like Dumb and Dumbered me, man. And, I left there, 33, 34-year-old dude, walking out to my car like, I got kids. I'm doing all right. I got money in the bank.
I got mustaches.
I got mustaches. I got friends. I got mustaches on my fingers. What more do you want?
Why does it bother people so much?
I don't know.
It's so ridiculous. I
like-
love it. It's
I
so
know,
fun,
'cause
though. It's so
not-
fun.
It's not like you got that tattooed on his body.
It's not like you got that tattooed on your face.
I went to a Walgreens shortly after I did it. I was standing in line to get my prescription, and there was a lady behind me with another dude. He was, my age, around his 30s. She was probably my mom's age, towards her 50s. Back then, my mom's old as shit now. But I hear him talking behind me, and it's like, you ask him. No, you ask him. And I don't give a fuck. I don't care about my conversation. So I really don't care what you're talking about behind me. And finally, this dude taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, kind of trying to be off-putting so he doesn't talk to me. And he's like, hey, man, we happen to notice you got mustaches tattooed to your fingers. And I was, oh, shit, I do. Then he was like, that's pretty fucking dope. And I was like, thanks. This fucking buzzkill over here, his mama or whoever it was, she was like, why would you do that?
Oh my God.
Just
Here we go. Yeah.
why would you do this to yourself? My mom never even did this to me. So, I got to turn and look at this lady who I've never met in my life, 50 years old.
Bitch.
I got to be the first one to tell her, probably because I'm not you. Mind your own business.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, we don't give a shit what you do.
Probably because I'm
Yes.
not you.
Is the answer though?
That's such a good answer.
Yeah, that's the answer.
So it's, she was all pissy and everything. But it's just, like you said, it bothers so many people. And even the ones that see it. Like, I'll be in a company meeting when I had a job. And my company, we don't care about this kind of stuff. But
The professional gambler.
professional gamblers, we all have something like this. But so I'll be in a company meeting and I'll again throw it across my lip or something, just because I'm just bored, just hanging out. Don't even know I'm doing it. And people,
See it,
like
too.
the plant manager would be like,
What the hell, man?
What the fuck is going
"Is
on?
that a mustache?" Yeah. They'd sort of
I'm that dude.
They'd sort of giggle, No, you don't want to be that dude. You don't say that you're that dude. You just happen to be that dude.
So whenever you're at at your job, do you ever you're putting your poker face on? And you're like, you're just trying to focus. You got the poker face, and
No,
you're at the
'cause
table. You're
No, at the casino, you'd be surprised at just the wide range. And that's another thing, man. My very first trip to the casino, after I was like, fuck it, I'm going to make this happen. I'm at least going to try. When I told my mom about it, I was like, it's no different than anybody trying to open a restaurant. You put all your money into a restaurant, you hope it makes it.
right.
But if it doesn't, you take your lumps, you go get a real job, you move on.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing, except my restaurant was Cherokee. It just happened to be a casino. I don't got to wait 6 months to find out if my restaurant went under. I can see right now, shit, I lost $15,000. This shit's not going to work.
Yeah.
My big number right now is 10. That's the most I've ever walked out losing.
Oh, God,
God
that
damn.
hurt.
What's the most
10
you ever come out
grand?
winning?
The most I've come out winning on 3 hours was $6,600.
3 hours of 6,600. That's fucking solid.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
I never went back again that month.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a
So
solid
it's-
month. That's
Yeah.
a solid month.
So I hear you're King Petty.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
The Palace of Petty.
The Palace of Petty. What's the Palace of Petty?
So when I was going through my divorce, so
There's not enough stories to.
I've been petty ever since I can remember, and my ex-wife is spiteful. Well, I don't care what kind of cards you have, what you're doing with your life. Petty will beat spite 8 days a week. It's just the way it works,
Okay.
because
No, how so? How's it the way that we're
Because
that's
Petty-
the formula.
petty's
What's the
dynamic.
formula?
Yeah.
So petty's dynamic. Even if you take my petty and flip it back towards me, I can always repetty you.
Yeah. Cannot stubborn. I guess you can't really
No, if you come out spiteful and you're like, I'm not going to give it to you. Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I don't want
I see what you're saying.
I don't want just you to know this is happening. I want everybody to know this is happening to you too.
And then be embarrassed for you.
Yeah, because it doesn't affect me. I didn't do this. So as I start going through my divorce, my ex-wife and the guy that she thought was a better deal, so they decided that of all people to talk about and to mess with, I was going to be the one. I was going to be the guy that when you say something to me or I say something to you, you're going to make it where it's not true or you're going to show me something. I've seen it all. There's nothing you can show me because I'm prepared for it. I've seen it. I'm ready to roll with punches. So so my ex-wife, she went on vacation. She took her boyfriend on vacation with her while she was married to me.
Ooh.
I find out about it. I let it happen. She wants to take the kids. I let her take my daughter. My boy wants nothing to do with the guy. I can't blame him. I let her take my daughter. Ain't no reason my daughter can't go on vacation. So I've got to send my daughter with this experiment to go. So when it comes back to court, I have pictures of my daughter on vacation with this dude while she's married to me with her parents. I would love for you to go to the courtroom and say, that didn't happen. I've got the paperwork. You gave it to me.
It's fucking 10 steps ahead.
So it's
fucking 10 steps
whatever
ahead.
it takes. I'll do you one better. This one's for the guys. If you're a woman, turn it off.
Oh man, here we go. Let's do this.
Oh, great. And so no one turned it off. Got it. So no one turned it off.
Volume got turned up actually.
Yeah. If you're a dude, you're going to want to bookmark this one. So when I knew my divorce, my marriage is falling apart, you've got options. Your options are to bury your face in the sand, pretend it doesn't happen. Maybe shit's going to get better. That's cool. That's great. That doesn't work for anybody.
I agree.
So you've got to face up to it. You got to eyeball it and figure out what it takes to be who you want to be with what you got. I wanted my kids. So getting my kids is paramount, because even when it's not my weekend for my kids, if they have something 3 hours away, like a competition or something at a sporting event, I'm driving to 3 hours. I'm going to go there, dap up my kid, watch him compete, dap up my kid, then I'm going to go back to my house with my dog. There's nothing stopping me from being a dad. You hear so many times about guys getting shit on, and it's because we don't prepare. The court isn't geared to ride and die with the women like everybody says it is. As you go into the court with the best hand you can possibly have, and the only way you can get the best hand is to walk out there first and get it started. So, leading into my divorce, while my ex-wife was starting her new life, I was going around to every divorce attorney in the county.
This is some marriage story shit.
Do you know what that does?
They can't talk to them
There you go. So now she cannot use an attorney
in the area.
from my county.
And so this isn't
Classic.
some shit like that he's just saying now. Like, I remember him before he started doing this. He's like, I'm going to go to every attorney I can.
Now, did your lawyer give that advice to you, or did you? Or can they do that?
I doubt they can give you that.
They
advice.
really can't.
I mean, unless who's like your buddy, of course. But
Because there was several times where I went to my attorney with something I knew or something I was already starting, and he was like, I don't want to hear it. Just, if it's out there, it's out there.
it's like a lawyer working with a lawyer.
Man.
So
It's fucking Better Call Saul. It's
So-
like more petty than Saul Goodman.
Ooh, that's tough.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Well-
I'm telling you.
I'll give you my rap sheet on the attorney thing. So when it came down to it, I knew when my ex-wife was going on vacation. I knew all that shit. It just so happened to be that she was going to be on vacation with this dude during our 20th anniversary.
Fuck.
So, because I'm a petty person, I like to remember things. I make things easy on myself. I met her on April 13th. I filed for divorce on April 13th. I filed for divorce while she was on vacation in Florida with her dude. So I let her bury herself with her parents' permission and their help. Got myself set up so while she started the next phase of her life, I'm taking care of my family. Because I don't give a fuck about the next stage. My kids are it. That's my now thing. If I ain't got them, I'm going to spend all my time trying to figure out how to get more time with them.
Right.
Now I have them, I'm trying to find out how to get less time with them. my son drives me crazy. But, so I'm not going to say that the courts are geared up for women. It's just they're geared up for whoever's better prepared. So when I went to file, so if you're at your job and your wife, let's say you're married, your wife goes and files for divorce, when you get served, you got to move out. You don't get your kids. You get your little bag and your stick, and you get to go to the railroad.
Damn,
and
I
be
just
a
pictured fucking Huckleberry Hound
Yeah,
sulking down the
So the
damn-
person who files stays home
Pretty much.
and kicks that person out, basically.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what they don't tell you.
So here's the thing.
Good to know. Let me write this down.
Like I
He
said,
just got married in October.
if you're a dude, you're gonna want to listen to this shit. So
I'm joking. Wait.
no, but it's you think about it and you look at the stats. Guys don't leave.
They don't.
Even when I knew my marriage wasn't great and there was other shit going on, I knew about this fucker. I knew his name. My son told me his name. I didn't learn it from her. I learned it from my kid. So
Yeah.
that'll be a kick in the dick for you
Yeah, it's tough.
when you're having a situation like that and your kid finds out. So she could have played it better. And even as we were separating and doing that shit, she still could have gone to the court. Even though she moved out and was living somewhere else, she could have gone and filed the paperwork and taken the kids.
I have to ask. I know you're like king, the Palace of Petty. Did you ever think about going on like a Jerry Springer or something like that?
So when
Because I felt like you might have thought about it.
Oh, I know. I can go ahead and tell you. We've never talked about this, and I can guarantee 100% that he loves Jerry Springer.
So I used to live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Chicago's 3-hour drive.
Uh-huh.
And we used to go watch Jenny Jones and Jerry Springer when they
Live?
when they did the studio. I got a buddy Justin who actually asked a question, and you can see part of me, like
One of them says,
like when he got-
he's in a Jerry Springer. Of course, he's in a
what
fucking
kind of
Jerry
people went to
Springer.
those things.
It's the people with
guy.
finger mustaches.
That-
It's fingers
That guy.
mustache guys.
yeah,
guy, dude.
pre-finger mustaches.
He's always been the guy. Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
I never knew it, but I've always been that guy.
I never knew.
So, but it's
He's in a fucking Jerry
so
Springer
the
episode.
Palace
God
of
damn it.
Petty. You go on Google, and you may still be able to find this. I don't know.
I'll do it right now.
There was a point where I put my address where you could Google Palace of Petty, and it would list my house. So like
love it.
Facebook said I lived at the Palace of Petty. Like I went the whole 9. So anybody that knew the situation knew this is where I'm
That's
at.
not coming out,
So
unfortunately.
here's another one for you. So that same dude.
Just Tom Petty. That's all that comes up.
So that same dude, while they're in Florida on vacation, I'm sitting there cleaning up my house. Now my ex-wife left and left all of her shit in my house. Now, because I'm an asshole, but not a total asshole, I took care of it all. But on the same token, you need to get your shit out of my house.
Right? Like, come on.
You
What
don't-
the hell?
You don't want to be with me.
Yeah. Come get your shit, man.
Why you want your shit in my house? I don't want to be responsible for your shit.
And I don't want to throw it out in the yard because, damn, then this is out in my yard.
then my house looks like shit.
Right. So I'm texting her. She's in Florida. I'm in my house. She's on vacation. I don't give a fuck. I'm taking care of my house.
I believe you.
Yeah. So I'm cleaning out my house, and I would open up a box of shit, and I couldn't tell if it was my ex-wife's or my daughter's. Well,
I could see that being.
if it's my ex-wife's, I need to put it somewhere, somewhere.
In the burn pile. If it's my daughter's, I need to take it to her
If it's
room.
my daughter's, I need to, make sure I keep track of it.
Yeah.
So
The
I'm,
burn pile.
so I'm sending pictures to the both of them. They're both on vacation. That doesn't mean shit to me because I'm in my house. So my daughter's like, that's mine. I want it. I don't know who that is. So finally, my ex-wife says, that's mine. I want it. And I'm on vacation. So quit bothering me. So
God.
I did what any rational 43-year-old dude would do that has a bunch of free time and shit you don't want.
I like where this is going.
So I tell her, that's great, you're on vacation, but I'm still in my fucking house. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
With all your shit.
With all your shit. You were the first motherfucker to know you were leaving. Why do I still have your shit? You knew you were leaving before anybody else. My house is still full of your shit.
I started listening to shit on the marketplace.
So here's another.
Come get it. Free. Come get it.
So-
Free. Come get it.
Finally, I get a text message back, and it's from our dude. Mitch, this is so and so.
Really appreciate if you'll just lay off, bro.
Pretty much. I've got the text messages and everything. I don't get rid of nothing. My computer is an archive for like the last 15 years of anybody that's tried testing it.
It's not a joke. I'm
No,
saying
it's not.
Show me.
It's straight up.
So you have a list of people that you.
It's not that.
He's like Steve Buscemi and
It's not. It's not. No. It's no. I know where you're going. That's not it.
the lipstick, bro.
But
it's like all around
Yeah.
his mouth.
but no, it's. So if something gets said, I can go back and track it. You know, you said you're this. No, I didn't, because right here, November 8th of 78, you were on some bullshit, and I got the paperwork.
I got the fucking paperwork.
Yeah,
Man.
so I mean, I keep like all my old phones. I download them to my computer, so I still have
Yes, I'll be back.
all the text messages and everything. So you're not going to sneak anything past me. Which was surprising that the divorce went the way it did, because of all people, why would you try this on me? I mean, you know my
She
track record.
knows.
She knows who she married.
She knows. She's been with you. She knows you better than anybody.
Yeah, so, but I get a text message from this dude, and then it's, hey, this is so-and-so. You need to quit texting her. I'm not going to ask again, because I'm petty and I'm an asshole. I said, who? And he said his name again. You know good and goddamn well who this is. You're always on some bullshit. And I was, the fuck are you going to do? You know, if she wanted to intimidate me, she should have gave the phone to my fucking daughter. You ain't going to do a goddamn thing. I mean, you're 700 miles away on a phone that's not even yours that I'm paying for. The fuck are you going to do? So you have a government job. Really? What do you think you're going to do?
Yeah, it takes like a special kind of person to
Well, it's funny because
hook up with someone that's married.
it does. A real trash bag.
Yeah.
Doesn't even get to see his own kids, but somehow he's supposed to see mine. Go figure that shit out.
Right.
But so his buddy reaches out to me one day, and that whole situation, they're just a rare breed. They work for the government, but their first thing to always do is to try to intimidate you. Here's a good one for you. So when he comes at me and tries to intimidate me, he gives me a spiel, and he says, I'm not the one. I know you're the one because you're acting this way. You're talking this way. You act and talk this way because people have allowed you to do it. But has he ever ran up on anybody? Everybody knows where I'm at. I have OCD. I run a schedule. It's not hard to find me. I'm easily found. My cars are pretty well known. They're not like anybody else's cars. Funny thing was, that dude that gave me this is so-and-so, I made stickers of that saying.
And put it on the back of his car.
On the back of my cars. Just so when I drove around, everybody that knew me knew exactly what this was. This was this dude trying to intimidate me. And anybody asking about it got to hear the story about this guy that works for the government trying to intimidate me over the phone from 700 miles away.
He literally got a picture of the message on the back of his car. Oh my God.
Yeah.
A sticker of the message on the back of his car.
Yeah. That my
Is it
ex
still there?
No, when the
Damn,
car
I want to see pictures.
Oh, he's got
I'll
those.
send you the picture.
Yeah.
Just like you said, he's got an archive.
Okay, yeah.
I'll send you his Facebook post of my picture. So my ex-wife.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
it's pretty good evidence.
work the math on this one here. I'm pretty, mathematically inclined. I've taken physics. I've seen a thing or two.
Taking physics.
I can crunch some numbers, right?
I believe you. I believe you.
I'm taking physics.
Yeah, it's I have. That's all the only thing I got. Never calculus.
I think I got.
Never calculus, but I have taken physics. So I think I have taken calculus. I don't know. I know the physics man sucked. So, but shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You're taking physics.
Yeah, I never taken calculus.
Sorry, the picture on the back of the truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so crunch these numbers for me. So my ex-wife takes a picture of the back of my car and sends it to him. Now, this is how smart these people are. You do realize anything you can see in public is public. You don't got to hide a license plate. None of that shit. This guy works for the government, and he doesn't know this shit. So he posts a picture of my car, the only one like it in the area. You don't even got to picture.
It's a very unique car.
You don't even got to post the whole car.
Was this Mad Max?
No, this is the Benz.
Oh, you have
This is the-
apocalyptic car? It's like a Mad Max car?
I've got two of those. One's the
Two of those?
One's the murder wagon.
Let me get
and
those pictures too.
I'll send you the murder wagon. Mad Max. Yeah.
Like, you ever play Twisted Metal?
Oh yeah.
That sounds like some shit
I
that'd be
grew
on
up on
Twisted
that.
Metal. Twisted Metal, yeah.
So the murder
Murder
wagon.
Wagon and Mad Max. That's
Mad
cars.
Max is a 2008 XB that's been
It's a
bombed
fucking-
out
it's a
and depleted.
Mitsubishi, the square car.
It's a Scion. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be
Sorry.
a dick. But it's seen better days. They're like back in 2008. But I mean,
Whenever they made it.
yeah, like before it came over on the boat. But that is not the car to see in traffic and try to test. As I don't care how fast we're going, which way we're going. It's
So one day we're coming out from work one day, and it was actually whenever Jacob was riding with me. So Jacob's riding with me. We're coming back home, and then we see Mitch coming up in the fucking sign, and he just blisters it like where coming off Pleasantburg, like coming back from Greenville Tech, and you get back on 85 South.
Yeah.
So you hit that red light right there by the fucking.
you might hit the red light.
Well, no, he doesn't. So it's a red light, and then he's going like 80 in the curve, and he just blisters it through the red light, straight onto 85.
Grand Theft Auto, baby.
And then we get on to 85, and there's a state trooper sitting there on the exit ramp, and he's just gone. He's going like
Yeah.
120.
You
down
ain't seen
85.
it, bro.
Is that fast?
No, it's just it's just
And a bitch loaded down.
It's
son.
just
yeah, it's
straight through the red light, and I'm like, oh my god. And this is before I worked with Mitch, so I'm like, oh
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
He knew of me at this point. But
You
that's
just
just
fucking go for it, don't you?
Just fucking.
Like everything. You
I'm not-
fucking go for it.
I'm not supposed to be here.
I respect it, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling you,
telling
that's
you.
my description of you to anybody that like. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got this buddy, this guy, and I'm like, he
that
should have been
guy.
dead when he was like fucking 10.
yeah.
How old
it's-
were you?
I was a year and a half when it happened.
Years old?
When the accident happened, yeah.
Fuck, dude.
And I was 4 years old before I left the hospital.
No, what happened? If you don't mind me asking.
I had got into some liquid Drano. So this is back in 1979. So back when
old
I
as
was a
fuck.
kid, like, yeah, old as shit. Back when I was a kid, they didn't have like any safety caps or none of that shit, but it wouldn't have fucking mattered anyways. So we had a sink stopped up. My dad poured some Drano in there. My dad wasn't the sharpest, wasn't on it exactly. Put Drano in the sink.
relate.
I
And
can relate. Hey, that's my dad.
that's on you guys, bro.
That's my dad.
No, I'm just talking about me.
I was talking about our dad. I was like, fuck, man.
Oh, when I meet
Put it
your
on blast.
Sorry.
when I meet your kid, I'll be like, I know.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
But I woke up from my nap, and the Drano was still in the sink. It wasn't. It was just a straight out accident. The shit fucked me up. So I was in the children's hospital till I was 4. From 4 to 6, I would go back here and there. just for upkeep, make sure everything's working properly.
Yeah.
If something's off, tune it back up. We get it adjusted. So I think I was like 9 years old when I got the first letter. So when this happened back in '79, I was one of 5 for my area. Indiana, Michigan, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Indianapolis area, Chicago area, Detroit, the southern half of Michigan area,
Okay.
and the Toledo, upper northwest of Ohio area. I was one of 5 kids this has happened to. One never had a chance. 2, I think, died on the table. 3 made it out. I'm number 4. And then number 5 made it out. And I think I was around 9 or 11 when I got the first letter saying that one of us didn't make it. I don't remember if it was 3 or 5, because we were just numbers back then. They didn't give you a name. It's before HIPAA, but we didn't know each other. We just knew I was number 4.
So you've been number 4 this whole time?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
That one's for liquor. That one's for liquor.
Yeah, I know. So, but I start going through these doctor appointments, and you meet these people, all these nurses. They got your file. They're reading your paperwork. They're checking you out. They're looking at how fucked up you are, and then looking at your file and being like, damn.
How the fuck?
This kid's really fucked up,
You see his fingers? He got tattoos on his fingers and shit.
This is like a half a lifetime before that.
Yeah, right.
So it was right around then I started like paying attention. I was in doctor's offices, and you would hear, you'd hear in the hallway, I'm surprised he's still here. That kid's not gonna be able to drive.
Oh my God.
He's never gonna be able to buy cigarettes or a lottery ticket. He's never gonna be able to buy a beer. So
He's fucking retarded.
I always spent every day like
They were right.
when I went to sleep, that was it. I wanted to fit as much fun as I possibly could into a day.
Wow.
Because from a young age, I always heard these grumblings. I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, so you lived it like it was your last day.
Yeah, so, and the other thing is that, and I've tried to explain this to my kids and other people, it's a hard thing to wrap your head around. But you guys don't really know Mitchell Shultz. You don't know him at all. And you're aware of him, but you don't really know him.
Right.
You guys get the character I'll let you guys have. Because life is so much easier living as this character than it is living as the person with all these issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So it's my entire life has not been a sham, but it's not been, maybe they're quite honest with people. But it's what I got to do. It's what I need to do it's what I had to do to grow up. Being a white kid in an inner city where there wasn't very many of us wasn't very easy. I didn't even know I was white until I got to school, and they had no problem telling me how white I fucking was. Like I knew my family was white, but shit, I was 5 years old. We're all the same.
Right.
Bitch, you picked me for kickball. We're the
Yeah,
fucking
right.
same.
You picked him for kickball?
No, but
No, it was just
I got you.
I would have picked him for kickball, maybe.
I would have too.
when as we're like
It
kids,
seemed very personal there. I was like, oh.
Bitch, you picked me for kickball.
yeah, but it's like and
No, I love how your question was you picked him for kickball, not when the fuck did y'all play kickball?
yeah, when you were 5. Yeah,
Fair enough.
but
Y'all play kickball?
Sorry, I
what the
mean-
fuck is going on here?
no, but it's like
We're
once
20 years old.
I was like,
this is a weird dynamic too, and so me in my hood, my neighborhood, I was legit, I was valid, I was accepted.
It was valid.
But if I went 2 blocks over, I needed to have a chaperone. I needed to have somebody else, either another kid from that area or somebody from my neighborhood that would vouch for me. Not everybody ever came up and was like, "You're whiting from the streets." It didn't happen. But as long as I was with somebody that they knew, they didn't fuck with me. But if I wasn't, like say I missed the school bus and I'm going to school, I knew from the minute I left my neighborhood, my ass was running all the way to school. Because I couldn't stop. You know, I'm not going to hide in the fucking bush making sure the coast is clear. It ain't Call of Duty. I'm just trying to go
like
there
Fortnite.
I'm just trying to go there and get in
That's for
trouble.
the kids.
So, but it was a weird dynamic because you're good at your neighborhood and then you go to school, but you're no longer one of them. You know, now you're back to being the white kid.
Yeah, right.
So it was like, you know, that's where you're sitting there in class with, there was a furniture store back when I was growing up called Clark and Mitchell. This dude I used to chop it up with, his name was Clark. I'm Mitchell. So we were always known as Clark and Mitchell, obviously.
It's like a law firm.
Yeah, real shitty furniture. But
Also, it sounds like
yeah.
Saul Goodman.
Yeah,
It sounds like Saul Goodman again.
nobody's getting off their crime. Everybody's doing time. But
Bars.
but it was like even Clark wouldn't fuck with me sometimes. And it's like, bitch, at the house, you picked me for kickball first. Why the fuck am I good enough for that shit? But here, I'm not. But then you look at the whole thing and you don't agree with it, but you understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where the rest of the molding of my life is, okay, you know, I'm not going to live my life as this person here. I'm not going to be here very long. So I'm going out, fifth gear, guns blazing, wide ass open. We'll go to the engine stops.
Through the red light.
I'm telling you. I'll never forget that.
It doesn't matter, bro. I've slowed down very little over the last 40 years. Here's some funny shit. So we go back to Indiana last summer. Biz meets Jared. My son meets the guy I've known my entire life.
I'm sure he's heard so many stories too.
Everybody's heard all these stories.
Yeah, for sure.
But B, he says, I was talking to Dad, and Dad swears he is the same guy right now that he was when you guys met. That ain't possible. You know,
He's 4 years old.
yeah, it's like, you know, it just ain't possible. And you figure in 40 years, somebody would grow the fuck up.
Yeah. At least a little bit.
You figure someone would grow the fuck
Somebody
up?
would grow the fuck up. They did. It was Jared. It wasn't.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Nice.
You know, I'm an old ass kid that's got responsibilities now, but I'm still a kid. I mean, it's
Like, you mean like kind of like Michael Jackson or like?
no.
Okay, not like Michael Jackson.
No,
okay,
it's just-
got it.
It's like you go through my house right now. It does not look like an adult lives there. Like literally every room in my house got Legos in it. There's 3 or 4 video game consoles in every room. There's
Sounds
Sounds
awesome.
pretty fucking sick. Yeah.
On the way.
there's nothing smaller than a 65-inch TV.
You seen my kitchen?
Yeah.
Same.
So it's,
I have a podcast studio.
you know, it's
In the house.
Yeah.
in the corner of my living room.
I think you and I have a lot in common.
Yeah. Well, I've got every Star Wars action figure from the late 80s or late 70s, early 80s that are like fucking mint in a glass cabinet in my living room.
Oh, you probably got some money in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of the video game consoles I have one of the very first PlayStations from launch day, still in the box.
Wow.
Still in the plastic.
box?
Yeah.
Still in the
I'll send you a
fucking
picture of it.
box.
I've
Dude,
got
you're probably sitting on a damn gold mine.
I've got the 84 Deluxe Nintendo with the Rob launch day, still in the box.
Insane.
What did you like buy after the fact? Did you keep
Oh,
it when
yeah.
you got it? Oh,
No,
after the fact, yeah.
no, for where I was from,
Nah, you didn't have that luxury.
No.
You bought
Yeah,
that shit
right.
to play that shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
fucking
right.
buy it.
It wasn't even like the Star Wars, man. We couldn't get that. It's just my mom did the best she could, but like action figures, nah, bro. You know, you may get a He-Man to share with your brother. You guys may get a battle pack. You both get a cat and an action figure. Figure the fuck out. But you're not getting, like, you know, you're not getting no Darth Vader to yourself. You know, you got He-Man, I got Skeletor. Enjoy the shit.
So how'd you get to South Carolina if you're from Michigan?
Bad decisions. So,
It's like some Theo Von shit. Bad decisions, man.
yeah, I keep hearing that too. It's like talking to Theo Von. I don't see it, but I sort of understand it.
It's just like the sayings and the crazy stories, except
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like who he
it's like
is.
it seems like you're doing a
is who
character,
he-
but it's just you.
Yeah.
It's just it.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
you're doing a character, but you're just not.
Yeah, because like I will say that like if you're probably listening, you might think that you're just a character. You're putting on a character. This is really who you are. I can
Oh,
tell.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
this
is very
is
Straight up,
this
yeah.
is
This is like the most
very-
genuine, like.
Yeah, this is very genuine.
Yeah, I don't hide nothing from nobody.
Yeah, I can tell.
I mean, which is why, you know, when you said you either love me or hate me,
You either love him or hate him, dude. And people think you're hiding something. People think you're doing a thing. They're doing a bit.
no, and that's just not it. I mean, this is,
That's some people that have something they fucking hide in themselves, man.
you know, I've been around long enough. I don't have to impress you. I don't give a fuck what I have. Why do I give a fuck what you have? You know, I don't care.
I love that.
You know,
There is one thing that you that you said to me. I don't remember when the fuck you said it, but I kind of live by it a little bit. It's like if somebody's going through a tough time, they're like, man, what the fuck would you do in this situation? I always say, like, I'm not giving you advice.
Nope.
I would never give you advice, but I'll tell you what I would do in the situation.
what I did.
Or what I did or what I would do. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I would tell you if it was me
This is what I would
or
do.
what I've done in that
So-
situation.
We'll come back to the South Carolina thing, but to go to that, and my boy hears this shit 8 days a week. I mean, it's literally from the moment I wake up till that kid goes to bed, I'm hitting him with facts, just about life. I mean, it's this is
It's an infomercial.
you know, but wait, there's more. You know, it's just I've raised kids, man. He's 15. I gotta raise an adult now. Get him ready for the world. So I tell him about everything. You know,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what his feeling is. Let me rephrase that. I do care about what he's got going on and shit like that. But
Does he?
the thing is, as long as you have your own reason, I could give a fuck what it is. As long as you can give me the definition or the reasoning you have
And
for
you
that,
believe that shit.
and you believe it.
You're not just making some fumbling.
Yeah, you're not going off of some shit your mom told you, the crazy chick at school told you, the lunch
that's
lady
a
with the
bunch of
wart
them.
told you.
Oh, that's a bunch of them.
Yeah, this is I gave you the information.
Okay, hold on. I might listen to the lunch lady with the wart though.
Yeah.
She done been through it.
She's got the pizza,
Yeah,
man. The
she
square
got-
pizzas.
She's gonna hook you up, baby.
Yeah. She got the baked beans, man, and flabby arms.
Go
you
ahead,
know?
hook you up, baby.
She's-
Don't tell them about
She's
it.
that lady.
Yeah, she's that lady.
that
Yeah,
lady,
she got a mustache
yeah.
finger.
But
She got the mustache.
so I give the kid all the information and I let him read it to make his own decision. And then he gives me the decision and that's what we rock with. Like a couple years ago, he choked the kid out of took the shit out of some kid at school.
He did what?
So he's been. How long has he been doing jiu-jitsu?
5 years.
And you just got your blue belt, right? Congrats, dude.
Oh, nice,
got his blue
dude.
belt.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
you just got his blue belt. So you can't get your
Yeah,
blue belt until
15.
you are 15,
Congratulations,
16, around that age. So.
It got the year you turn 16.
Yeah, right.
So he's the youngest person from our gym to get the belt.
Dude, that's,
Been doing it
sorry, go
for
ahead.
almost 6 years. So
He,
that's-
we spend a lot of time in the car going back and forth to gyms and training sessions. But to go back to what you were saying, I learned growing up listening, because you got to realize when I walked out my house, my neighbor Bud, I used to rock it with his son Kiki. Bud didn't have a job.
What about Kiki?
Kiki was my age, man. That bitch didn't have a paper route. That bitch woke up to the Jackson 5, bro. He
Hell
didn't.
yeah, I like Jackson 5.
Me too. But this motherfucker came out the house at 7 in the morning dancing to this shit. You didn't do that shit, bro.
No, I didn't.
Kiki did.
Kiki did.
So, but Kiki's mom worked. His dad didn't. I can't look up to that dude. You know, everybody that you look up to, you're going to try getting them where they're at. Kind of a kick in the dick now because I'm where he was. I haven't worked in months.
And Bia's up here fucking waking up to Jackson 5 and dancing in the morning.
It's, you know, I'm somewhat retired. You know, I just work when I feel like it. But
That sounds
what a
amazing.
luxury.
So never. That'd be
so
me.
yeah, I didn't think, but this thing has come full circle.
Right.
But it's like
Fucking bud.
the way I go about it is my nephew comes up to me, B comes up to me, and they'll ask for advice. And the first thing I tell them is go find somebody else. I do not give advice. Well, what do you give? I can tell you what I did with the same situation. But I can't tell you advice because you didn't grow up the way I grew up. You don't value the same things I value.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I stopped going to work, you don't think everybody else didn't want to stop going to work? Everybody wanted to stop going to work. But it was just, I was in a position where it was, I'm tired of this. I need to get out. That's on me. But I can't tell somebody else, hey, look, it's some bullshit. You're going to be happier. Quit your job.
Yeah, right?
It's just,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
but it's the way I go about it. And, let me finish this and we'll go back.
No, go ahead.
It's, I ask people that are where I want to be. So when I need, like when I was going through my divorce and I needed advice, not really advice, but enlightenment, I called Pops. Pops has been through a divorce. Pops is where I want to be when I get to his age.
Yeah, you mean like mentally or?
Everything.
Okay.
Now Pops is never going to have tattoos on his fingers. That ain't who Pops
Well,
is.
he missed out.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's living through me. He doesn't know it, but he is. But you know, I go to Pops. I ask him about that because he's where I want to get to.
Right.
My buddy Jared, he's younger than me. He's seen the divorce a few times. Ask him.
It's like 3.
A few times.
That's where I'll move on. But look, I don't care if you've been divorced 50 times. Everybody deserves love.
I fully expect to see a comment from Jared on this bitch.
He's not on the internet, man.
Oh.
He's off the grid.
He's
Yeah.
off the grid?
Yeah, one of us got out.
Damn.
I'm not even on Facebook no more.
I know.
But,
I saw that. It's
So,
a good move.
but I talk to people that are where I want to be. I get their input. Sometimes I listen to it, sometimes I don't. But you can learn from the dumbest motherfucker you've ever met.
I said this like 2 weeks ago.
I said this like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
say this
it's-
all the fucking time, dude.
I will talk to anybody until I know you're stupid.
Even if I'm, at least I might be learning what not to fucking do.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the people I go and ask for enlightenment from are the people that are where I want to be. But you're never gonna get. It's like back when I used to street race, or I used to race in general.
Could you have guessed that?
Yeah, go figure. But people would come up and they'd be like, "What do you got under the hood?" And I tell them, and then they would run out and buy it. How the fuck are you gonna beat me when you got the same shit I got and you don't know what to do with it?
They think they're a better driver. That's what they think.
But I know the
But
shit.
they wrong.
They're wrong.
But they think.
But I know the shit.
Everybody's got an
They ain't
ego,
driving, they
man.
ain't driving a Mitsubishi.
Toyota.
Going
So-
80 through the red light.
But 80 was on a good day, man.
It was so
80 was on a good downhill. Downhill, baby.
It was downhill. It was. I lights downhill.
I like Jacob. I dare you to cut him off.
No, actually, I will say that I don't know. He actually might have. We might not have been riding together, but I think he might have called me. He was like, "Was that Mitch?" I was like, "I think that was Mitch."
Man, everybody knows, bro. It's my murder wagon. It's a
Murder wagon. I
it's
got to
a
see a
fucking
picture of the
murder wagon.
murder wagon.
It's a 2002 F-150 Harley Davidson crew cab. It's got the 4 doors. It's all blacked out.
The
Big
murder
ass window on the
wagon.
back sticker.
It's like this far from the ground.
Yeah.
It's lower like that?
Yeah.
I got to see
It's like
this.
a-
I can.
Sick.
I can drive across a nickel and bottom suspension out. It just doesn't. Just the whole time you're just jerking around.
God.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it, man. It's pretty legit.
And that's in South Carolina. That's fucking bold on them goddamn potholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me like one
Anxiety?
of my buddies has a lowered truck, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'd have so much anxiety.
Well, what's worse is I would have that in Indiana too in the snow. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't drive it. I wouldn't go anywhere.
You'd have it.
So what brought me down here was
We're back to this. I forgot about that.
yeah. I'm not gonna. I will try to close every.
Don't forget about the fruit basket.
Yeah, I'll try to close every loop we can. And so, what brought me down here was when I got married. My in-laws were moving down here. So right after my marriage, they moved down here to go work for the same company we all worked for. And I told them, once my nephew graduates high school, we'll come down. You know, my niece and nephew are like my kids, man. As I never treat them like a niece and nephew, they're my kids. You know, they all had the rule. If I wake up and you're on my couch, I ain't gonna ask no questions. I'm just happy you're safe. My house is base. You know, that's where you can always go. So there's a lot of times where I'd wake up.
That's some real shit, man.
That's some real shit.
Yeah.
I'd wake up at 2 a.m, my dog losing his shit. And then pretty soon my dog come running back in the room again, lay back down, he's out.
Right.
I knew my niece or nephew were there. Never called me. I'd wake up for work a couple hours later, put a blanket on them, go to work, never even talk about it.
For sure.
My phone number right now is still an Indiana phone number, just in case they need me. Because I told them, when I get down there, I'm never going to change my number in case you guys ever need me. Now, my kids, they got to call me long distance. They live in the same house I do. But my niece and nephew,
They got to call you collect.
yeah, my niece and nephew, can always, they can hit me on any payphone for 50 cents. But,
Payphone.
yeah,
What the fuck is that?
they still got those.
I can't remember, at least around here, I can't tell you the last time I seen a payphone.
I seen one at QT a couple minutes ago.
Really?
At a fucking
Yeah.
QT, like on the road, like right down here?
You know, now
Yeah.
that you mention it,
Couple blocks
I
over.
think QTs might have something like that.
Man, you know how I talk about the murder scene in the parking lot? A payphone would be a really good scene for a murder in a film.
They would. With just like the little light underneath, it's dark around it, but like the one little light up under the.
And the light flickers and the motherfucking
Yeah.
bodies in there.
Yeah.
So
God damn.
back when I used to do cable,
His cable got to.
yeah.
It's all making sense.
It's
Yeah.
all adding up. Cable guy.
I watched that like a week ago.
Yeah. So I've never seen that movie.
Oh, you got to fucking
Everybody
watch
tells
it.
me I
It's-
should see
it's
it.
hilarious.
It's a good one.
So
It's fucking good.
when I started working in the cable as a contractor, I worked with a bunch of guys that are from the suburbs. Nobody the South Side route. That's where I was from.
Give me.
Yeah, so
It's that guinea shit. Give it to me.
give it to me. And so
Give it to me.
I would go back there and chop it up with people, show up on a Tuesday and walk my way into a barbecue and fixing me a plate.
I thought you were gonna say a barbershop.
No, I've been in those. Take lunch break in a barbershop, play some dice.
Right.
Yeah, it's yeah,
He's that dude. He's that fucking dude.
You're that fucking dude.
it's
When did it click? that you
I've
was that dude?
enjoyed my time.
That's a very good question.
When did you notice, like, not to say like you're different, but like when did you notice that like you were your own like personality in a
dude.
way? Like I'm that guy. Like I'm not like other people, because I feel like that's one thing that me and Bryant have in common is like, and that's the reason you're on this podcast is because
Yeah, for sure.
you have some authenticity to yourself. You have
So
some
unique. So unique.
Yeah, you have like what you're presenting is who you are. So,
So-
at what age did you kind of realize that?
You get away from my own personal struggles of my surgeries and me growing up. I was making it into adulthood. I was in my early 20s. And I had a buddy, and this is about when I totally put everything together, was when I walked away from my friends. So it's going to get a little heavy here, but I had a buddy, Tony. And Tony used to work for his dad. His dad put him under a lot of pressure. if Tony made $20,000 for a one-day job, 20 grand profit, his dad was like, you could have done 40.
Oh, he was never happy.
Never
He was
happy.
Never pleased. Yeah.
So
You could always do better. You can always do better.
yeah, and they used to weigh on Tony. I mean, it was bad enough where even back then, Tony would pay me to be his driver just so we could hang out while he went to all these different jobs. So I worked for the company as like his assistant, driving him around just so he could make it through his job. He was that unhappy. Some shit at work happened, and I was with him all day Sunday. We had gone to his office, done his homework for college, and he was in front of me driving home, and down the road, I would take a left. I'd flash my high beams. He'd pump the brakes a couple times. That was us acknowledging each other, and then he'd go home. Done it 1,000 times.
Right.
That day, same thing. With him all day, helping him with his homework. We get it done. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I flash the highs at him. He pumps the brakes. He drives off towards the highway. I'm a block away from my house. I had to go home. The next day, I'm at work. And a friend calls me up. Ryan calls me and says, nobody can find Tony. He never showed up to work.
Oh, man.
And I was, well, he's under a lot of pressure because Tony didn't talk to a lot of people either. He had his friends who were my friends, but he never let everybody in to just who he really was. But I knew him for a long time.
Right.
So I was there before everybody else. So you couldn't hide nothing from me. And I read people really well.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you can't sneak shit past
I
me.
believe it. I believe it too.
So his dad calls me up and said, hey, we seen you on the camera with Tony. You know, where is he? And I was, I don't know. You know, we left together. You know, he was headed home when I left him. You know, I don't know where he went. And a couple of days later, I was sitting in Jared's office. We were talking about it. And my phone wasn't working. It's back when cell phones like first came out. And you had to protect your minutes and shit like that. So I may have had my phone turned off or something.
Right.
Waiting for 9 o'clock. So I didn't get charged all the fucking bonus hours and shit.
Call me after 9. It's free.
Yeah, nights
Call
and
me
weekends,
after 9.
baby.
Yeah, nights and weekends. Nights
know,
and weekends.
I got the pager. Hit it. So Jared, the phone rings. Jared answers the phone. And he's like, yeah, he's right here in front of me. You're shitting me. I let him know. And Jared hangs the phone up. I look at him, and I can see it's really fucked up what he's getting ready to tell me. And I was like, wrong number? And he was, wrong number. I was all right, cool, man. I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know, I'm going to go home. And he was like, we both know it wasn't the wrong number. And I was, yeah, but I really don't want to hear this. So I'm getting the fuck out. And he was, just give me a minute. And I was just, they found him. I said, they found Tony. He had killed himself the night that, so he had left me, went to his house, picked up his handgun, and then went to the reservoir where they used to hunt and killed himself right there.
Dang. You never know what people are going through, man.
You,
It's so
you
fucking,
really
it's so
don't,
fucking hard.
because it's, you know, I think about, there's not a, it was February 19th of 2001. I remember like it was yesterday.
Right.
The reason I remember like it was yesterday is because I live it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought that, you know, suicide was a coward's way out and things like that. But I can't say that no more. You know, ever since then, I don't know. I can't, it's hard for me to, what I can tell you is it may solve your problems. Like that day, Tony solved all of his problems.
yeah.
He got himself out of there.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
of his problems were gone. But his problems became his mom's problems, his dad's problems, his sister's problems, my problems.
Yeah.
You know, I see the guy every day. I don't have pictures of him.
Right.
I mean, I do, but I don't look at him.
You know, I think that sometimes we want to dismiss what we don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see that. I see that in I'm starting to see it a lot lately. Like the average person would look at the mustaches on your fingers and judge you for that. And this is just a very small example.
Yeah.
And it's they want to dismiss that automatically just because they can't relate. Like a lot of typical human being nature is, or whatever you want to call it, is as soon as they see something that they don't understand or they
reject it.
They reject it automatically
Yeah.
and want to dismiss it because it's different. It's the other.
That's fucking stupid.
You see this with racism. You see this with tattoos on the finger. You see this with you can go
tattoos in general.
You see this with suicide. I mean, you see,
Yeah, you do.
you know,
Yeah,
you
for
see
sure.
where I can't believe that's a very selfish act. But yeah, but maybe it is. But maybe you don't know where that person is coming from either because you've never felt those feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to dismiss it automatically. Like I'm starting to see it in a lot of people around me where they're like, you know, they're very dismissive and very harsh on things they just don't understand.
And they don't want to give it the time to understand.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the
Because
biggest problem.
either they feel uncomfortable when they think about it, or they, you know, maybe it's like a parental reason where they instilled in you
they
in your
want better.
conscious. Yeah, they
Right.
want bad or whatever it is. There's always a reason why people are
Yeah. It's
dismissive like that.
you know, that is the first thing that sort of struck me off. And then a couple years later, which it was weird because Tokai, when he came back from Tony's funeral, he told
Did you
everybody.
say toke guy?
Tokai, T-O-K-I.
I thought you said toke guy.
No.
T-O-K-E.
Tokai,
G-U-Y.
T-O-K-I. His name was Brandon Tokai. And I say was because there's more.
Right.
When he came home, he told everybody that, you know, to sort of watch me because of how close Tony and I were.
Yeah, for sure.
That Tokai understood just how much Tony and I saw the same path, the same way. So Tokai had a real fear that since Tony did it,
You
I
might be
may-
far behind.
I'm going through some shit myself.
Right.
I may see this as an out. You know, I used to go shoot guns with Tony all the fucking time. Everybody knows I was capable of, I had the weapons.
Yeah, sure.
So Tokai used to call me, you know, all the time, ask me what was, you know, he lived in Cleveland at the time, 4 hours away. And he'd call me and check up on me and see what's going on, and we'd cut it up on the phone. A couple of years go by, everything's cool. And then I'm over at Trevor's house. And this is what's wild about me, is I don't tell anybody where I am, but you can always find me. So I'm over at Trevor's house one night. We're going to the club. I haven't been out in the club in years. At this point, I was dating my daughter, or my baby mama, but I wasn't married yet. So I hadn't told anybody where I'm at. Nobody has a clue where the fuck I am. I'm sitting there on Trevor's couch playing Mario Kart or something on Nintendo 64 GoldenEye. And I hear
The
this.
OG shooter.
It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so fucking good.
Yes, I hear this. Yeah, he's right here. And I know,
Right. You
The
know
phone
that-
call's
yeah,
for
that
me.
Fucking phone call, yeah.
I know it's not good. So I look at Trevor and I was like, wrong number? And he was like, yeah, wrong number. And I was like, hang it up. It's Jared. So I was, put my controller down, walk across the
Right.
room, get the phone. And I was just, who is it? I knew it wasn't good.
Right.
No one's tracking me down to say, hey, you got gas in your car? You know, so I was just, who is it? We didn't have that kind of lifestyle.
Right.
You know, we didn't lose a bunch of friends. Most of my friends were suburban people, You know, their parents are pretty well off at this point. I'd done pretty well for myself at this point, friend-wise. And I just, who is it? Brandon. And I hate it for his family, man, but I don't know Brandon. You know, good luck with everything, bro. And I hang up the phone. As soon as I hang the phone up, phone rings again. I look down, call ID was somewhat new still. I see Jared's phone number. And I was like, I don't know a Brandon. And it's Tokai.
Fuck.
And it just fucking crushed me. I mean, it took everything out of me. And
yeah, I think that not to cut you off, but
no.
I think that with you, what you're seeing is, I think we see this in our dad too.
Yeah,
and we see it in a lot of people where we're like, you know, you start off with like, as a child, you're not really dealt a fair hand in a way. But like what pressure can do is pressure can create a diamond, or it can like just crush someone. And I think with like our dad and like with you is like you kind of turn that pressure that's been there your whole life into like, you've been tough. You've like been keeping it going and like kind of like making the best. And it's kind of made you like a logical person in a way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you look at you at a distance, you would see someone who's just kind of different, you know, that you're that dude. You're that dude,
right.
you know? So it's like,
For sure.
So you're a little standoffish, but like I think that like you've kind of been dealt this bad hand to begin with, and you've made the best of every situation. And you've learned from that, and you will continue to like, dude. I can see the logical thinking that you've kind of presented. You know what I'm saying?
I also see though too, like that same way of thinking, like from a lot of guys that grew up, you know, the way you did and the way our dad did, is like that mentality of it's so hard to express yourself and like let out some of those emotions, because you don't want to be the fucking guy that's like, oh, I feel like shit, and you know, it's so hard to fucking talk about. It's so hard to talk about that shit.
Like your era, it's like I've talked about it on this show before. It's like that guys from that era, you just like know. You've been taught to be a man. I mean, you come from the guys from the Great Depression, so it's like
I ain't that fucking old, bro.
But like some of your family members, though,
I grew up with those guys.
You come up with those hard motherfuckers.
You come up with some hard, so like your influences were hard motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know,
like, you think that's bad? I fucking had to eat crackers for a month.
Yeah, like legit
been there.
struggles,
Right.
and it's like, you know, like I said, that pressure can create something great, something unique. You're a very unique person. I can tell the first, as soon as you walked in, I was like, this guy is a unique person.
Yeah.
Like who you are is who you are.
Was it the bulge on the neck?
Fuck you.
Just knock it. Just
It had to be addressed. It had to be addressed.
We'll circle back to that, but let me finish this Tokai thing.
Yeah.
So
I didn't notice it till now. What a dick.
Yeah, what a dick.
Oh, wow.
So I drive all the way across town. At this point, all of our friends have gotten together. I'm asking, so what the fuck happened?
Right.
Because I'm not going to ask on the phone, because I want to see the people.
Yeah, right.
So that I knew at that point that there was some dirty shit in my circle and that I was going to need to address it. You want to smoke weed? I ain't mad at that. You want to do some mushrooms? I ain't mad at that. Now you start pushing like cocaine or heroin or something. Why?
Right.
You know, I can't back up anything that you got to have, like, you know, some kind of shooter program to get to. You just can't walk up, grab it, and go. So Tokai ended up ODing from heroin. This is 2004, I think. We go to the funeral. At this point, I wasn't even put back together. That's a whole nother conversation. But I had just been put back together from another surgery.
Right.
So I wasn't doing well. I was just starting to come back up. And Tokai was calling me all the time. And he actually passed away in between phone calls. So it wasn't like I wasn't even missing a phone call.
Right.
Like I talked to him a couple of days before that, and my next joint wasn't going to hit for like 2 more days. So this wasn't nothing to me. You know, I get the phone call saying he's gone. I go over, I talk to everybody. I can tell something's off, but I can't figure it out because the majority of our friends would drive over to Cleveland together, hang out with Tokai, and then come home together because we all love the dude.
Right.
You know, it's just, well, fuck, we're 3 Musketeers, one for all, man. If I got it, you got it. Let's fucking go. So we used to ride out together. I can tell talking to a couple people, shit just ain't right. I can't put my finger on it. But Jared's there too. And Jared wasn't exactly in that circle of friends.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, maybe it's Jared that's throwing off what I'm feeling. Because Jared just doesn't fit in with everybody else. Jared never made that trip with us. He always, from the time he was 17, he had a wife and kids. So he couldn't do the dumb shit we were doing. So, okay, maybe Jared's uncomfortable. Maybe that's what I'm picking up on. You know, people don't know what to do with Jared. Maybe that's it. Then we go to Cleveland for the funeral. And everybody showed up the day before except for me and my wife. Because I was still medical at that point. I couldn't leave that long of time without being near home base. So the next day we drive over there. And I never listen to what anybody else says. You could be talking about me bad all you want. But I got 2 requirements. One, you've got to say it in front of me or you never said it. 2, I've got to respect you. So even if I respect you and you said some pretty horrific shit to me about me, why the fuck would I care? I don't respect you anyways.
That's kind of, that reminds me of Chris Harris, how he said, like, you know, there's
I
only
remember
like
that moment,
4
yeah.
people that I respect their opinions.
He said I was one of them. I was like, holy shit, nice, dude.
And he said, and like, he looked at me, he goes, and you, I mean, no offense, but like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you think. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like,
exactly.
oh my God.
There's like 4 people.
That's
Four
just
people.
it. So we got there to Cleveland.
Shout out Chris Harris.
And I'm sitting there, and I got to tell this funny-ass story first. Uncle Joe, he's going to hate this shit if he ever finds this shit. So we get there. Now, all my boys have brought their girls over. So we're all early 20s. Uncle Joe's a Vietnam vet. Dude's pushing 60, 65. He ain't had nothing this young at his house in a long time. He is on some shit.
He on some
You
bullshit.
know, he's walking around in his drawers and shit, talking about, hey, sweetie, you need anything? Let me show you where it's at. Like he's gripping people's girls by the arm and taking them off and showing them shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Fucking Uncle
So-
Joey, no.
So I walk in there, and Jared's like, yo, as soon as you see Uncle Joe, it's going to go sideways. And I was like, why? Why would you say that, man? I just drove 4 hours. I'm here
This is
for
not a good introduction.
yeah, I'm here for a funeral. How the fuck is this going to go sideways? And Jared's like, I've known you your entire life.
You'll see.
It's going to be funny as hell. Definitely sideways. So,
It's funny when you know
Yeah, right.
the situation
like,
and you're like,
and what's worse
there's
is,
no other way. This is going to go sideways.
so I come walking in. It's 6 of my boys with all their wives and girlfriends. That's a dozen people that know exactly who the fuck I am. Everybody's expecting it. And I'm just like, I'm not going to go in there and start.
Go ahead and do the half baked.
Yeah, I'm not going to start soft shoeing
I'm
for
not gonna
you.
do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not here for your enjoyment. I'm here to make myself laugh. And if you can laugh too, fine. If not, I don't give a shit. So
I love that so much.
we're sitting there, and Joe sees my car in the driveway. Joe comes walking in. He's like, is Mitch here? And like, yeah, he's over there. And I hear him say my name. So Joe comes walking in. We dap it up, hug each other and everything. Tell him I love him and everything. One of the few guys that in my life actually scares me. I've met thousands of people. Joe is in the top 5 of people that actually scare me.
I'm number 4.
No. 1 through 5 are not down here.
Right.
Bruce is number 3. Bruce is another guy I know. B knows him. But Joe comes in. We dap it up a little bit.
You good?
Joe turns to leave. Joe's in his tidy whities. And the back is not a good look. So
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Not a good look, man.
He'll tell you about it. But Joe walks off, and to Joe's face, I'm just like Joe turns around to say something to me, and I was like, "Gotcha, Joe." And Joe walks off, and it's after I seen it. Yeah, he's got the stain in the back of his tidies. So I'm just like, "Fuck."
Lois Einhorn.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That's all I'm thinking.
like everybody's on like one side of the room. The doorway's on the right side, everybody's on the left side. And I'm sitting in this fucking chair. My wife is on the arm of the chair. And I'm just like, maybe nobody saw it. Maybe nobody saw it.
Everybody fucking saw it.
And I look over at Lisa, and Lisa's just like, I can't believe it. And I was like, that's fucking Joe. That's the Joe I know. So I get done talking to Lisa, and I think we're all done with this shit. I look over at my friends and their women, and everybody's all big-eyed. Like,
Oh, no.
he fucking seen it. So now I'm looking at my crew, and we're all like, no. And they're all, yeah. And I'm just, because they know I'm going to say something. I can't help but say something.
Relatable. I can relate to this shit so much.
Uncle Joe comes walking back in there. I think he was getting me a drink or something. He comes in and gives it to me, and I make sure he gives it to me before I say anything, because I ain't having him throw this shit on me. And I was like, hey, Joe, thank you, and we really do appreciate you dressing up for the occasion.
Oh, no.
I wasn't sure where this was going, and I'm still not.
So Joe is just kind of, no problem, dude. Vietnam vet, he's an old school guy, trying to be hip. No problem, dude. And he walks off. Like 5 minutes later, he comes back in, and now he's wearing a pair of bright white tidy whities. Like he changed his panties. So this
Motherfucker
dude,
shit himself.
this dude
He
went,
draws.
he switched draws.
He should have.
This dude went back to the bedroom, wondered what the fuck I was talking about. Was like, the shirt's nice. What else do I got? Maybe it's my draws. Maybe he doesn't like my draws. He sees the draws, and he's like, fuck.
I gotta put a new pair on.
So he throws a new pair on.
Still in his drawers. That's a legend.
He
That's
comes
a fucking
back
legend.
out to the room, still in his drawers, and he says, hey, fuck you. And then turned and walked away. Went and put pants on.
God
Like,
damn it, man.
he
I got
made the
this.
trip to make sure we all knew. He understood what the
Hey,
fuck I was
fuck
talking
you.
about. Yeah, fuck
Oh
you.
my God.
So, as we were to finish the circle, as we were at Tokai's funeral, his mom came up to me and told me how much he loved me. Just how much he talked about me and everything. And it hurt. It really hurt because this was a guy that...
You looked up to, I'm sure. It was
It's-
close to you.
even though
you
he's
know.
younger than me, I thought I had a lot of time with, and I really didn't. My son's actually named after him.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I get the Brandon
Nice.
from.
Nice.
So, but it was right then that once everybody got back to our hometown, I got talking to a couple people, and they told me about what happened the night before I got there. And the night before I got there, the rest of the crew was talking about doing heroin with him. And one of the guys I used to hang out with was the guy that shot him up the first time. Well, I don't need people like that.
No.
So it
Not at
was,
all.
you know, I got home, I heard it, I got everybody together, I addressed it. It came back to me as, what does it matter? You're the king of taking shit too far to begin with. And at that point, I just walked away from everybody. You know, I was 25, 26 years old, and I just walked away from everything. It was like I got me, my wife, and Jared, whichever wife he was on at that point. We'll figure it out. I don't need people like that around me.
And yeah, I think you're right. I think you don't, you know. And it seems like, yeah, it seems like when you meet those people at face value that like, you know, you've grown up with these people, you've grown around these people, they're connected to you in some way, but in a way, like that pressure I was talking about earlier has kind of created. Yeah. They took a different path than you did. You took a path of like logical understanding. You know, let me make the best of the situation. You know, because I see a lot of positivity in you. I know I know we've kind of touched on some like dark subjects here and some dark stories, but I think what I'm picking up from you is like you're a person who's trying to make the best of every situation. So like you see those people around you who are like, you know, those negative people, and you're like, you know what? I don't. That's only going to bring negative to me.
Right.
So you're like, let me get out of here. You know.
Yeah, and it's B and I had this conversation on our way over here, and when I say I'm raising adults, I legit mean it. I don't need to tell that dude how to be a kid anymore. He's 15. I need to raise an adult, somebody that when he gets 18, he knows how to do a checkbook. He knows, you know, not to get a girl pregnant and shit like that. He knows what to do with shit.
These days, especially if you're in a public school, I feel like life comes at you super fast.
And sideways.
And it's like there's no time to coddle your kid for the world. It's time when they get out, it's time to get that kid ready for the real world. And it's right out of the gate, I feel like.
Nobody gives a shit, you know, what is happening either. So,
yeah, that's the real world. No one gives a shit.
And it's, you know, you always hear about that. No one cares. Work harder. And as sad as it is, I mean, it's, you know, Brian can attest to this. And it doesn't matter, like when it comes to work, anything with life. If I know it, I'm going to give it to you. Because if it's work, I'm going to tell you everything I know. Because that makes you better at your job. Which makes it so you can make more money, take care of the shit you need to take care of. Which also makes me better at my job because I don't have to hold your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, you can be self-sufficient over here, or I can tell you to take the forklift back. Hey, you're not going to take the forklift and the grease. Just the forklift.
And now you got to be like, God damn it, I'm going to get the fucking forklift.
Yeah, go get the fucking grease again.
Yeah, right.
So it's, you know, I'm big on keeping the circle small. I'm big on protecting those around me. But I mean, if I can't use you, if you're not willing to help yourself,
then I can't help you.
I know, man.
There is nothing I can do for you.
Yeah.
That's just like the saying, how do you expect someone to love you if you can't love yourself?
It's so
you got to fucking take care of yourself.
It's funny you say that because right now my son and his mom have a terrible relationship, and my daughter and her mom have a terrible relationship also, and it all stems from the same thing. So my ex-wife started dating her boyfriend officially after she moved out. But we all knew about him while she was still laying in the bed with me.
Right.
So the kid told me about it. So you can't lie to the kids. Our kids are smart. They're grown. So, I mean, they see what's going on. So my kids want nothing to do with this guy. He might be the greatest guy in the world. That's irrelevant. My kids have never spent any time with their mother after she left to learn who their mother is and what the new lifestyle is.
And why do you think that's the way it is?
So if I had to go with the track record, her mom was taken care of by her husband. Her sister is taken care of by her boyfriend now. And I told my wife when we got together, if you're looking for somebody to just take care of you, you've got the wrong guy. It's, I want 2 kids and we're done. And you need a job and give back. I don't give a fuck what you do with your money. You need to pay your percentage of the bills. So let's go on a whim here. Say for every $1,000 we have, 700 came from me, 30 came from her, or 300 came from her. You take all the bills.
That's that physics math.
Physics. I pay the 70%. You pay 30%. We're paying an equal share.
Yeah.
That's the best I can do with everybody being all in here. So because she wasn't very good with money and because we struggled whenever she handled the money, I had to take it over. Well, at that point, I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to give my kids a shit I didn't have. I'm trying to be an active adult as best I can be with the mindset I have.
And it's like in that time, you're a kid yourself. I feel that right now. I'm the most I'm the best in the best situation I can to have a kid, and I still feel like a kid myself.
Yeah.
It's like
yes, exactly.
It's hard enough taking care of yourself, much less I got another life form that's like dependent on me.
I'm fucking retarded.
Yeah.
I was outside looking at buying $1,000 of video games before you pulled up. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I will do it in a
What
heartbeat.
video games?
Yeah.
What video games?
It was on Nintendo. Literally, it was
Nice.
it was like 75 games I don't have.
75 games I don't have. That's so many games.
Yeah. Which is weird because none of them would get played. They would just go on the shelf.
Oh, so you're a collector. Well, you did say about the Star
Yeah.
Wars and
I've got thousands.
He's a
games.
collector that isn't a collector, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's never going to be like, I'm a collector, but he collects.
Yeah.
if you collect, you're a collector. I
Yeah.
collect vinyls. I mean,
It's
But you're never going to refer to yourself
water
as a collector.
bottles apparently because they're all over the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer boxes. We have to pull that out, man. We didn't show
Oh
them that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so, I mean,
show you
it's-
when we finish.
All the 6 facts.
It
12 facts.
like I said, if you can make
18
money on it,
facts.
then I'm going to try making money on it.
I like it.
And
It's all
you're
about
a
the
hustler,
hustle.
man.
Hustle.
You're a
That's just
hustler.
it.
Always hustling.
It's in your blood, man. It's
Yeah.
who you are. It's in your DNA. You've had to do it your whole life, so you continue to do it your whole life.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, here's a case in point. When I started collecting the Star Wars action figures we couldn't have when I was a kid, it was during the 2008 recession. So at that point, everybody was selling the shit for whatever they can get for it. They need money. I got money. I felt like a mobster, because I'd put an ad on the internet and like people from around the world would be like, I got that. What do you want to pay for it? Let's see it. They'd send me a picture. I'd talk to them on the phone. I'll wire you the money. They'd send it to me. So I got this shit coming from all over the world. Literally like a mobster, not leaving my house.
Tony
Right.
Soprano.
Yeah.
Because I was laid off at the time too. So I'm in the pool with my son. My wife's pregnant. I ain't doing shit for a job. Making these deals from across the world. People I can't even fucking understand. So I bought everything I could. and then I sat on it for like 10 years. So the figure,
Dude, you're sitting on
I
some money
know.
right now.
That's all I can think.
possibly. I mean, I got safes at home that are not empty.
Dude, I know that the Star Wars shit and like all the shit you've collected,
Dude,
Yeah.
the
You've got some
unboxed
serious-
PlayStation 1.
and right now might be the time to sell because I feel like everything is at
But that's what
like
somebody would have said
30%.
5 years ago.
But see,
fair,
so
but I don't.
I bought some of these action figures for $120. I've been selling them for $2,500.
I was about to say there's got to be
Yeah,
a
I'm sure it's
massive.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The guy's like fucking 40-year-old virgin Steve Carell buying that shit.
the fuck are you saying, man?
No, they're the ones buying it now.
What about the guy who bought it before him?
I
Oh,
can
no.
also buy them now.
I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, that guy. But yeah,
But,
I think like that like mindset of you like always hustling too is something that's gonna whenever you have like your kids now, you're like, I don't want them to have to fucking like right now you're never comfortable. You're never
No.
like, I can relax now. You never think that. Because you are constantly fucking, I'm grinding, I'm hustling. I want my fucking generation that comes after me, everybody that's a part of my family, to goddamn be comfortable. I want them to not have to do the shit I had to do.
Do you want to know the worst day? As I was going through my divorce, the absolute worst day.
Of course.
So we were working together. I think we were in the office together when I did it. I paid off all my bills. So my ex-wife had been gone. This is how fucked up it is. I filed for divorce April 13th. And within 6 months, I was paying off all of the debt I was responsible for.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that day.
That was the worst day. Getting myself out of debt because at that point, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
You look at everybody else and it's just like, I got a house payment. I got a car payment. You know, my baby mama wants this. My kids need that. That was the worst day because I could no longer relate to the entire life I had up until that day. Like I went to work on a Thursday, still owed $14,000.
Yeah, fuck.
Walked into work, was sitting there crunching some numbers.
I can make this shit happen.
I got this money.
Right.
I ain't doing shit with it. Let's do
Fuck
it.
Yeah.
So I paid everything off. I couldn't sleep that night. It was just, I didn't know what to do because every minute of my life since I've been a kid has been about, you know,
What's the next move?
what's the next move?
Right.
From when I was a kid to, you know, selling candy bars, to washing cars, to working at the skating rink. There's always been a hustle. Going to the bowling alley, buying cigarettes when I shouldn't be buying them, selling them back to the guys in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always a hustle.
There's always something.
It's built into his DNA.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
And then that day at 43 years old, I'm at work one day. I pay off all my bills. 43 fucking years old.
you feel kind of like you could relax for a second.
I have zero debt. And that's driving me more crazy than having debt. Because now I don't have anything to hustle to. I've been grinding for so long
Right.
that there's no grind.
I was telling a buddy of mine the other day, I was like, man, you know, like how, I was like, I'm at the point in my life where I always have something like this in the back of my mind, like whether it's a fucking t-shirt that I've got to make or, you know,
Yeah.
a tournament I've got going on, or I'm thinking about the next tournament that's coming up that I've got to go coach at or whatever the fuck it is, or
Yeah.
work. It's like, it's always something. And I was like, and right now, it's the first time in like maybe a year that I have nothing, and I'm anxious about that. I was like, I have so much anxiety because there's nothing. I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen? Like why? I'm like so relieved. I feel like I can have time to relax.
I've
And it
never
makes me
felt
fucking
that.
anxious.
I've never felt like the fear of the unknown
Well,
because I've honestly like I feel like I've gotten to the point to where I feel like each decision I make, I'm pretty good at making decisions. So like I feel like when that problem is faced, like when I'm faced with that problem, I feel like I feel pretty confident I can make the right decision. So like I don't have that anxiety because I hear a lot of people say they have that anxiety of like, you know, when everything's going fine,
fear of failure.
when the fear of failure, there's just like, I mean, in a way, maybe I do have it, but I'm gonna be honest. I really have.
And I don't mean like the fear of failure or like the unknown. It's really like I don't feel like I'm not used to being caught up. I'm not used to being so caught up that I'm like, I don't have anything. What the fuck do I do? You know, like, it just makes me anxious being in that situation. Like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, so when I decided to retire, 45 years old, you would think. So you think about it. If you don't give a fuck about anybody, and all you say is, all you want is what's best for that person, and you sincerely mean it, you would be surprised how many hypocrites are out there. So
it seems like some people are just saying what they think is supposed to be said. Like that's what you're like. That's taking the high road. Like I think that like say you and I were in a dispute or whatever. Well, I just hope that they just.
I just want them to have the best.
I just want the best for them. So I'm taking it because I'm the better person. You know.
Well, I can give you this one here. B, you can back me up on this one. We went to the dentist office. I've been retired, a month? 45 years old. I've been retired a month. I think I've made $8,000 at the casino. It was enough for me to say, fuck this place for 2 months.
Fuck this place.
You know, I don't got to work January or February. I'm not even putting pants on this fucking month. I ain't doing it. If I leave my house, I'm wearing shorts.
Now, is that like your, like I said, like your mental comfort zone is like having a 2-month space cushion for like,
no.
financially, or is like
I never fail.
Okay, so you already had that like built into you.
I have never failed.
So like as far as I'm trying to get to like your mindset on this because
so I'll give you this much.
Mine's
B can back me up on this. So right now, you can ask B. How many months do we have money for right now? What did I tell you a couple days ago? It was April. We have money to get through April.
Okay. Now is that like comfort for you, or is that like we'll figure it out at the end of April? Like how, like what goes through your process like when you think?
I've never failed. I've always got to hustle. I've always got something. My house is full of shit I can get rid of. Like my murder wagon.
The murder wagon.
It is.
When we get done, I got to see the murder wagon.
So it's my truck that I drive here and there whenever I want to be obnoxious. It's loud as hell. It's stupid.
How often do you want to be obnoxious?
Every day. It's loud as hell. It's stupid looking. It's just when you see the truck, you either think I'm Mexican, I'm black,
a low rider,
or I'm white, and I don't know I'm white. It's one of those three. Because when I come out of the gas station, the people circling my truck, 90% of the time Mexican.
You ever see Malibu's Most Wanted?
I hear a lot about it.
I said the same thing to him.
I've never seen it. But yeah, I've been told I live that lifestyle.
I said the same thing to him.
There's some
I said the same thing to him. I said, you ever seen Malibu's Most Wanted? He goes, fuck you.
Yeah. I've heard it that many times.
But yeah, I've heard this.
But it's I've got a 1989 Fox Body Mustang in my driveway.
There's somebody in Fox Bodies. I like.
Yeah, Fox Bodies nice.
People
I
stop.
think it's Tyler.
I have
rest in peace, man.
I have a stack of phone numbers in my house of people wanting to buy both.
Really?
They stop at my house once a week. I had somebody stop by a couple of days ago offering to buy Mad Max. Nobody wants that motherfucker.
You kind of was like, man, I might shit.
Yeah,
Mad Max. What is like?
That's the 2008 Scion XB. That's the one he's seen me blowing red lights in. Yeah,
right there.
Falling out to a red light.
Redlining. Don't give a fuck. Yeah, catch me if you can. Look like
They probably can. They probably can.
Look like Leonardo DiCaprio in that bitch.
I'm trying to think of what reference that is.
The movie Catch Me If You Can, you retard.
Oh, Tom Hanks. Fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot that existed. Jesus Christ.
But
Fucking reaching in the bag.
yeah, the old bacon shit, you would fail. But it's when I was talking to my mom about retiring, it's like I got an uncle.
You retard.
Yeah,
It's not the first time I've been called that today.
no, it's
Or
not.
yesterday. Ted called me a retard yesterday at the bar at Connolly's.
That's like the second or third time this conversation.
Probably.
Yeah,
That
probably,
sounds
I don't
about
know.
right.
I don't
But
know.
it's,
Shout out
It
to
just bounces off. Retard just bounces off
Yeah.
at me.
but it's
So
you know
You're
Blakeman.
retard. That's the take as you fucking
so.
retard.
But like I say, when I thought about retiring, I knew I could do it financially. I'll figure it out. My bills. Once you figure out how much my bills are, you talk about how petty I am. You're about to hear this story.
The Palace of Petty.
The Palace of Petty. Do you know why I'm retired?
No, I don't. Well, you kind of talked
You
about
touched on it a
how.
little bit, but not.
The reason I am retired, the 100% reason I am retired, is my ex-wife's parents had her for 20 years. They lived in her house. They're retired. I had her for 20 years. She lived in my house. I'm retired. That is the reason I'm retired.
Okay.
That's how petty I am.
Okay.
If her parents are good enough, they can retire from her. So can I.
I like it.
Yeah, so it's like you're looking for how petty I am.
The thing is,
That is how petty
the thing
I am.
is, like, if you haven't been around Mitch for at least like fucking 6 months, then you will never know how petty. Like these stories, kind of
I'm
like
really picking up on it.
like you know how like the last podcast, whenever we had Robert on and we talked about music,
Shout out Robert. Yeah, I was a
that
great,
the
I really
touch,
enjoyed
the
that.
scratch of the surface that we did with music, that's
Oh,
the
man.
scratch of the surface you're getting from the
Yeah,
pettiness.
that's usually how it goes.
So it's
And honestly, like he said, I don't know Mitchell Shultz. That's probably the scratch on the surface that I've got in the fucking last 2 years, 3 years.
I don't really know the motherfucker. I don't like talking to him. I live with the motherfucker, and I don't want to be around him. He's got too many fucking problems. But it's funny, as I was telling B this the other day, we were in the car, and it's funny you say you either love me or you hate me. But the caveat,
There's a lot of motherfuckers that hate your ass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now.
What's
I
funny-
guarantee they don't know him though.
no, they don't.
I think they do.
They think they do.
They think they do.
They're dismissing what they don't understand.
Yeah, it's spot on.
This is like you could take that premise and apply it
to everything.
What's funny is
20 times a
those
day.
same people that don't like me, if they would join the dark side and get to meet me,
Just sit down and have a conversation with you.
that's it.
They'll see that you're
Yeah.
a genuine guy.
They would see
People are so scared
That-
to open up. And like,
They are.
my thing is to protect all of us, especially coworkers.
yeah, for sure.
That was fascinating to me. How many people at my job didn't like me that I've never even fucking talked to,
That's
that
so
have
accurate,
never
man.
that have never worked with me.
And that's because of somebody else that didn't like you. It told some bullshit stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that probably got caught in some bullshit they were doing wrong.
That's probably
And those
accurate,
people will take like we all judge people on appearance right from the get go.
Easy.
So like
yeah.
Most
Fucking the
hold-
goddamn mustaches.
Easy. Some of us do.
yeah. I feel like most people do it, even if they don't even
Yeah.
when they try.
That's
not
first
to.
impression.
The
First
first
impression is
impression
impossible to-
is very
it's inevitable.
important. So
If
it's
I like you and you don't like him, you've got to be right. When
yeah,
it
I
comes,
feel like that's
when it comes to work,
That's such a fucking accurate.
when it
saying.
comes to work, that's the way it is.
if I like
Because
you, and you
I
don't
got
like
to be with
him.
you 12 hours a day, 4 or 3 days a week. If you don't like him, why the fuck am I going to sit here and be like, I like him, when I got to spend my time with you?
I really understand where you're coming from, but I think that you can really like you might connect with a guy personally, like if you're just like your genuine self, like you are, or like you are. I think that there is some beauty into like you might not like this guy because of like your general preferences,
Right.
versus like you might kind of like the things that bother him with this
Well, I mean,
person.
some of my best friends.
You might those things might not really bother you. So
some of
it's
my
like,
best friends at work don't like you at all.
Oh, no.
but that
And I love,
yeah,
and I
it's
love, and I love
very-
both.
Yeah, and it's very situational and very like in depth. But
Which was funny because when I was getting divorced, my ex-wife called me up one day. I think I told you
Oh,
about
yeah,
this
you
one. And we were bickering about something, and she was wrong, of course, because that's why she was an ex-wife. But she told me people at your work only tolerate you. And I was like, why would I give a shit?
Yeah, right.
And then she tells me people at the gym only tolerate you. And I was, why would I give a shit? I was like, I'm only at the gym for my son. My son trains there. Fuck all them.
Right.
And she was like, well,
Fuck all them.
people at your work, they only tolerate you. And that comes from a very reliable source. And I was like, that ain't true. Because people at my job hate my fucking guts.
Yeah, right. They don't even tolerate me. They
Yeah.
hate me.
There is a distinct line. You're either on my
Just go in
team
the middle.
or you're against my team.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between.
That's spot
Which
on,
is
man.
weird
So
because
spot on.
it's the same people that are against me. When it's like the kickball thing. As long as we're by ourselves, I ain't got a problem with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I feel like a lot of people that say like I don't like this fucking guy. They're so scared to voice that to the person. Like
They
you see
are.
that so much, man.
They
People are
are.
so scared to be like, no, fuck that guy. I don't want to be around that guy.
And I'll be honest, I think it's just judgmental assles.
no, it's
Which
pretty accurate,
which
yeah.
I think that a lot, like that's the majority of people are judgmental assholes.
You know,
That's I thought you were
They
gonna say,
see-
I thought you were about to say that's the majority of white people.
whoa.
What
do you mean?
Yeah,
Sure about
there
to
is a
say.
lot of white people that are judgmental assholes. Yeah, but I think that I think that's what the problem is that they look at someone who's untraditional. Like there's nothing about you that's traditional. That's very
Negative.
like yeah. And I feel like I'm kind of the same way.
You're telling me the backwards hat and the Fred Durst goatee isn't traditional?
I will fuck you up.
Come on, you can't tell me you don't like fucking Limp Bizkit, man.
I don't like Limp Bizkit.
Don't do that.
Now, if you would have said,
I'm
hold on.
Things are not making
Hold on.
sense
I'm
anymore.
listening.
hold on,
Things aren't making sense anymore. They're not adding up. This
You're
is not
gonna-
physics math.
you're going to want to calm down for this one.
Okay.
If you would have said the Insane Clown Posse,
I know you love some ICP, man.
would've been
I know
right
you
there, bro.
do.
Dude,
I know you fucking love
I
him.
can see it.
How do you not like Fred Durst? Just a little bit.
because he's a toolbox.
I mean, yeah. So is Insane Clown Posse.
No, I've met both.
It's true. I've met both.
It's,
I've met both.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I have met Joe and Joey, the Insane Clown Posse. I've spent time with Joe and Joey.
Okay, what about Fred Durst? I want to hear about the time you've met Fred Durst because I've never heard this one.
I met Fred Durst at Fort Wayne Coliseum. I don't remember who he was there with, Korn or somebody.
Sounds like a cool show.
That doesn't like a cool show.
Yeah, it would.
It
But-
would if Fred Durst wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's accurate too. Fuck Fred Durst, but like,
I'll tell you this much: Too Short, way better person than Fred Durst. Fred
yeah, Fred
Durst,
Durst is a fucking shitbag.
huh?
It's sad.
Fred Durst is probably a fucking dirtbag.
He is.
I've never met Fred Durst, so I can't say.
No, but it was
You probably could say.
Probably.
it was literally we're in the back where there's like the rider area. So the rider area,
The green room.
not even the green room. So at the Coliseum, and I've done a bunch of concerts there. You've got the rider
What kind of music do
area.
you play?
Do what?
You say you've done a bunch of concerts there.
Yeah,
Oh, you've been to a bunch of concerts there.
I've done a bunch of concerts there.
Like set them up.
Like we're on the boards.
Oh, okay.
He's DJ.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I've
That's
DJ'd
right.
concerts at Pierre's and at the Coliseum.
Okay.
So I wasn't working that concert. I just happened to know people that got all of us in like they always did. We all worked for the same radio station. B106, anybody that's looking. It's gone now, but it used to be there.
It's gone now, so you can't find it. But
No, but you can Google it.
It used to be
and
there.
It should pop up. I used to work with a guy named Flash Phelps. Funny as hell. Got banned one time. I'll tell you that story off the air.
I like that. You know some good shit if it's got to be off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you that. Got banned off the air. I'll tell you.
That story is funny as hell, and I may have been there for it.
Maybe not. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, no, I was. I'll tell you this much: I was there. It was. I was working half of that when it got pretty ugly, and it was my day off, so I just vanished.
Can't get fired on your day off.
Yeah, it was.
Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here.
It was
Enjoy the
just like
stay.
curling, you know. When we got sat down for a meeting, it was like, who was working that? And I was like, I don't know. I just drifted away.
Christ.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But
So Fred Durst. Fred
so
Durst.
you
I
got
was trying to get back
Coliseum.
on track. I couldn't remember
I
where the
know.
track was. I was like,
So
hard.
I just strayed too far
yeah.
off. Where's the
So
track?
in the Coliseum, they got all these small rooms next to the locker rooms for the hockey team, basketball team, whatever the fuck you got going on. The small rooms is where like the wrestling people go to, shit like that. It's where the performers go. Doesn't matter if you're there swinging a baton or playing a guitar, you get your own room. There's a fucking hallway of them. So on one side of the hallway is all these rooms. On the other side is the tables, which is weird because each room has their own table. So you might have 15 tables lined up for 15 bands. This table's yours. And there is somebody from the Coliseum in between both tables to say, no. You can't reach in this table. That's your table over there.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like preschool. But on the same token, since we're backstage asses, we can walk through. The doors are open and shut. You can knock on the door. The manager, the roadie will open the door. You give them your credentials, you can go in. Of all the people, I've seen Ice Cube, Snoop, Korn, Ted Nugget,
Wait, what was that?
Rob
No,
Zombie,
you heard him right.
Seven Dust. I've seen
Ted
a
Nugget.
ton of bands. This was the only dude that was a full-blown toolbox.
Fred Durst?
I even seen Poison
100%. Oh.
with Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels' a toolbox,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
And
Fred Durst is worse, of course.
This dude was
Of course
worse.
he's Of course
Yeah.
he's worse. It's fucking Fred Durst. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's got to be.
Yeah, he was.
Of course he's worse.
Yeah, it was. Just,
But it's just one of those days
What
we
did
don't
you
want to
think
wake up.
we thought?
Yeah,
Well,
oh yeah,
it's-
Fred Durst is a fucking piece of shit.
Well, you
I went,
gotta-
I went. By the way, I went as Fred Durst for Halloween, and I have pictures.
Dude, I didn't
Did
even
you
know he
dress
was.
beat?
I didn't even know he was dressing up. I was at my buddy's house.
You got your ass beat,
Who the fuck would do it?
Caden.
yes,
I'll
yes.
chuck him to death.
It also at my buddy's
Shout
house
out
down. He lives like a quarter mile down the road, and yeah, Liberty. Yeah, he was on the podcast. Shout out Liberty, and this motherfucker pulls up, hops out, and he's got the backwards red. The red was it
Fucking Yankee-
Yankees?
New York Yankees
Yeah.
hat,
New York
yeah.
Yankees hat,
Detroit.
and like
Detroit had.
and the painted goatee.
I had a
I go,
painted goatee on. I
I go,
shaved my
oh
face
my
for it.
god, you're Fred Durst.
And he just started, and like it was like I didn't tell him I was dressing up. I was just like I just showed up.
Brian just hopped. I just
This was you.
one day.
Oh, it was me.
I was hoping it was somebody else.
One day, my brother hops out of a car dressed as Fred Durst. That's what I experienced.
I would have beat your ass.
Oh, it was so good.
I
And it was
enjoyed
it was always
I loved
and
it.
it was always come on.
I would have been rolling. Yeah.
it's
It was
amazing.
nonstop, dude. It was so
Oh no,
fun.
it'd have been the air raid version.
Yeah.
But look, man, like you can hate on Limp Bizkit, but there's always there's a few
I would say
songs.
this about new.
No,
There's a few songs.
You can't hate on Limp Bizkit
No, fuck no, you can hate on Limp Bizkit. Fuck Limp
because Wes is the fucking dude.
He is.
Bizkit. But
So
He's such a good
you can
riff writer,
hate
man.
on DJ Lethal. You can hate on Fred Durst
Well,
because he
he
deserves
knows, he
it.
knows every member of the band, but fuck Limp Bizkit.
No, DJ Lethal was the DJ of House of
Yeah,
Pain.
he went deeper than I could go.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it was
That's what I'm
much
saying.
more
I knew
than
this motherfucker liked Limp Bizkit. And he didn't want to say it.
No, I lipped it. I'm telling
He
you.
limped it.
He limped it.
No,
God
it's-
damn it.
I was around when House of Pain came out.
I fucking limped it.
Chocolate starfish and hot dog flavor water. What an album, dude.
It is in the murder wagon.
It's in the murder wagon. He's got the CD. Like you trying to fucking shit on me for
look,
this?
man.
Hold
listen.
on. Hold the
I was valid. I was
Listen.
accurate for this shit.
Hold the fuck on.
I think we all love Limp Bizkit.
Hold the
We're
fuck
just
on.
scared
You
to
don't wanna say it.
admit it.
If
we
you look
love
at
it.
the copy that is in the murder wagon, it is a promotional copy. It is not a copy everybody gets.
It's a fucking
When you
limited
hear-
edition
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit
when you hear
CD.
"Ba-na,"
Oh, fuck you.
It's just one of those days.
It's just one of those days.
When you don't want to wake up.
It's every time.
Listen, man.
It never
get
doesn't
it.
hit.
It's hype music.
Although
Everything is fucked and everybody sucks.
You don't
Yeah.
really know why. You just want to justify it.
I can't go with you guys. on this
Rivers
motherfucker.
was at all.
Although I will give you this much: Vanilla Ice and Vince Neil, probably the coolest guys I've ever met.
That
Vince Neil,
is
really?
surprising.
Yeah,
That really surprised
I could see
me.
Vanilla Ice being a really cool dude.
Rob
I
Van,
can see Vanilla
Rob
Ice.
Van Winkle.
Yeah, Rob. That's
Oh,
his
yeah.
name.
That,
Yeah.
I've met him several times. That dude's fairly legit.
But
Well, your
I
name
could
is
see-
Rob Van Winkle. You have to be
cool.
Vanilla Ice.
You can't be Rob Van Winkle.
I'll give you a funny story about that. Is when that song came out, I was in the hood.
What song?
Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
Dude.
I get to school one day, everybody's calling me Vanilla.
That's back in the day when you could have one hit and sell 12 songs.
I remember the first time that like we were talking about music or whatever, and I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I love like hip hop, and like he was kind of talking about where he grew up, and I was like, oh, you've got to be a huge Beastie Boys fan.
I am.
Of
course he's a fucking huge
Of
Beastie Boys
course.
fan.
It only
Have
makes
you seen my
sense.
shoes?
No.
I don't. know.
How many pairs of shell
Shell
toes
toes? Yeah,
do you
I
think I own?
I figured out if I could
I will-
12.
More.
Sheltos.
You know what shell toes
Yeah.
are? Like the traditional white Adidas with the fucking hard toe.
Run DMCs.
Oh, you
Run
you-
DMCs,
Didn't you
yeah.
walk in with something like that?
I did.
I was like, whoa. This
All
is
white.
like people don't wear
Classic
this very
fucking-
often.
Yeah, he's got.
I would-
I said 12. He said more.
I will tell you that I was going to make a
You're a
clock.
collector.
He's a fucking collector.
Pretty much, yeah.
You have an addictive personality. I do too.
I have the
do too,
Lego shell toes in my closet at home, yes.
You,
But-
you either love him or hate him, man.
I was going to make a clock on my wall.
I remember.
the ones
of
that
all
hate
these-
him.
I remember
misunderstood.
we had a big ass whiteboard in the office
Yeah.
and we drew out how we could do the clock on the wall.
It was going to be like an 8-foot clock on my wall at my house of different shell toes for each hour. I've got so many
Fucking
shell toes.
I love
Yeah.
this.
It's
I love
what's
how
funny is
untraditional
you've got
you
these
are.
records.
Uh-huh.
I've got records of my house of like 70s and 80s, Vanilla Ice, Too Short, Run DMC, Beastie Boys. I got a shit ton of hip hop
Trying to sell
records.
'em?
No.
No,
I'm-
fuck you. He
I'm-
said no. He was
I'm
offended. He
just
was
like
offended by that.
you.
Trying to get a deal, son.
Yeah, I'm just like you.
I get you.
I
get
have an actual copy of Raising Hell from the concert Raising Hell. It's not the normal like records you get
yeah.
from the record store. It's the actual one Jam Master Jay was using during the tour.
You are from Michigan.
I've got that shit.
Oh my. Do you like the White Stripes or Jack White? Because
I'm aware of them.
do you like Kid Rock?
Can't Rock, no.
Really?
I remember Can't Rock back when I think
Rock.
I've told you the story before. So back when I started going to Detroit, back when I was 16 years old, I started following.
All of my heroes in the methadone clinic, man.
Detroit City
God
back on the
damn.
map.
So I started following
He's
ICP.
about to say I hate Kid Rock, and then he's about to come up with so many reasons why he should like Kid Rock. It's just like you do with Fred Durst.
You did that with Fred Durst.
Fuck
I
you
will
guys.
I will say you did that with Fred
did it
Durst.
with Limp Bizkit.
You was
All
like,
the-
yo, West
fucking-
Borland, Fred Durst, and you named
the
like
DJ,
20 other
You named
members.
the DJ.
Hold the fuck on, Casper. So,
Oh my god.
so I started listening to ICP back when they're Inner City Posse, and you could buy their tapes from like gas stations.
Do you have more beer in the fridge?
I have one next to you on the left.
I got 3. I got 2 Voodoo Rangers.
I'm
I
gonna
got,
take one. I'll be back.
and like, grab me one. And a couple waters when you're done.
But you used to be able to buy
There might be
the
a Sierra Nevada. Grab that.
ICP tapes at gas stations under the label Inner City Posse.
Okay, what's the deal with Insane Clown Posse? Because I feel like there's such a cult following with them. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm in the group of.
I'm with
I'm
you.
dismissing what I don't understand because I've never looked into Insane Clown Posse. But I have to say
It's-
that
it's-
I feel like
it's
I need
hard.
to get the pushback automatically.
It's hard because for a while they were on the FBI list. I'll tell you this much. We went to a SmackDown wrestling show a few months, about a year ago, 6 months ago, up in Greenville. If you go
I think
to...
Bryant went to the same one.
No, he went to a different one. We went to the one before that.
Okay.
But if you go on TV, you can see me and my son and my daughter holding up signs. One says Blake Kisses Pigs, which is the owner of the gym we're at. I still have all the signs. They're in my bedroom. One is the Alliance Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
My son trains at here in Greenville.
Bryant knows Alliance. I feel like
he's one of our students.
Yeah.
One is the ICP Hatchet Man.
Yep. The little man running with the hatchet.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen the tattoos.
And the fourth one was something else. ECMMA. Now, the reason I couldn't post, whenever we put the ICP one up, we couldn't do the Hatchet Man with anything else because for a while the FBI had the Hatchet Man
I remember hearing about that.
as part of a gang.
Yeah.
So rather than try to argue with this shit, we're not trying to damage our gym, our affiliates. We put it up with Blake Kisses Pigs because that's just true. And that's just funny. Blake's a good friend of ours. We love that dude. He owns one of the gyms we go to. But we didn't hold them up because we didn't want... Now, we're straight repping ICP. I've got the tattoo on my back. This is who I am.
Your whole back?
No, it's only
Just
on
a little piece?
It's on a piece, yeah. That's what's covering me.
I got you.
But we couldn't do it to everybody, to all the other stuff, because I don't want the FBI to say that's a gang and then to affiliate it with our gyms.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
not fair to our gyms.
Yeah, I thought that's fair.
So the only time we hung two posters was Blake Kisses Pigs and ICP. It was either ICP and Blake Kisses Pigs or ICP and nothing.
So what got you into ICP? Are they from Michigan?
They're from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. I
So
figure.
I bought my first tape outside of Detroit, I think in Wyandotte, around 92, 93. I was playing travel soccer.
Oh, I knew you would find it. I knew it was in there. I just didn't know if you would find it or not. I know exactly where it was, too.
I played a bunch of soccer teams all year long, and I had enough people whose parents would pay for my ghetto ass to go play travel league. They'd sponsor me, so I'd travel Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago. We'd travel the area. Stopping through one of these towns, I believe it was Wyandotte.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I come across an inner city posse tape. I still have it. Cost me like $4, some bullshit. From there, they went from inner city posse, which was, they tried to be a gang. I've read the book. I have the book at home. You can borrow it. I want it back because that's who I am.
Collector.
I'm a collector.
I'm with you.
It's a first print.
He's that dude.
No, I do want it back.
That's okay. I'm listening.
Yeah. You're going to want to do a PDF.
What's a PDF?
That's where you download the shit. Because I'm not getting rid of my first
So you
copy.
download the shit.
Yeah. I'm not loaning out my first copy. I will bring it over. You can read some pages. And when you're done, I'll fucking go home with it. And when you're ready for the next time, I'll bring it back over. You can read some more. Or you can just PDF the shit and
I'll
call
PDF the
yeah,
shit.
there you go, buddy.
What's PDF? It's where you fucking download it.
Yeah. I thought we were on the same
It's
page.
2023, man. What do you mean, what is PDF?
Yeah.
Are you an adult?
You got Facebook, don't you?
It's all PDF.
I do have Facebook.
So
He's talking in his stupid voice.
so
Yes, I have Facebook.
back when Insane Clown Posse first started off, I may have the pictures on my phone.
The fucking vault.
So back when Insane Clown Posse first started off, they were called the Inner City Posse. It was John Kickjus, Joey Usler, Joe Bruce.
Okay.
That was the three people starting Insane Clown Posse. John Kickjus decided to leave because he had a family to provide for. So it became Joe Usler and Joe Bruce.
Oh man, I bet you regretting that.
Well, John Kickchis was the brother of Joey Usler, so it didn't really matter. He still got taken care of.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Now, Joe Bruce had a brother that they called Jump Steady. They did sign him to a record. He had a shitty album.
So you know how I mean you know rock and roll? That's how he knows hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm starting to pick up.
Yeah.
I have every single CD ICP has ever made.
CD.
And you can ask, who is that? Okay, go ahead and answer it. I don't know when we're done. So I have every CD ICP's ever made, from ICP, Twisted, Psychopathic, anybody affiliated with the label. I've got hundreds of them. I have one that's one of 1,000 that I had to wait outside in Chicago during a sleet storm to get. I'm not a collector. I'm a fan.
You're a fan.
But
I have those tendencies too.
He's a collector.
But I have CDs that are worth a lot of money.
What kind of new metal do you like? Because I feel like, I was listening to some...
Pump the brakes, buddy.
Hang on one second.
Pump the
We're
brakes,
going to
buddy.
get into this because you just talked about how you liked... I guess the Beastie Boys are more like hip-hop, but I'm kind of curious...
The funny is, the Beastie Boys, I was born in 77, so I grew up in the early 80s. The 80s was like my time, which the Beastie Boys made it like huge. And this is something you can ask my mom about, because we've talked about it.
I don't know that I'll ever get the chance.
Yeah, fuck her. But
I don't think I'll.
yeah, fuck you too. But
Damn.
just joking with you. Like you know her.
I know.
B knows her name. He don't even know fucking know her. But
Fuck her. Fuck you too.
yeah.
I'm fucking drinking to that. Cheers, guys. Fuck
Cheers.
you. Fuck her. Fuck them too.
We haven't really talked about the beers. I feel like I've had what? What was the beer you brought in
This
earlier?
one right here. Freaking Nature. Wicked Weed.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
what
that's-
Robert was drinking
That's
last
a good
week.
one. Yeah.
I brought Sour Monkey, Sour Triple.
By Victory.
Sour triple.
Is it good? You like it?
That ain't bad.
Ain't bad.
I got some for you. There's one for you.
Oh yeah, I meant to drink that
Yeah.
earlier.
Whenever
Glad
you're
I
ready
had
to be
you
a
on.
man.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're
I'm scared.
a huge pussy.
You're a huge pussy.
But it's like,
Sometimes just like the easy blows, they
Yeah.
hurt the worst, man.
it's,
Sometimes.
Sometimes the jab fucking
I don't
really
know
gets
if
you.
Brian even knows this, but
Probably not.
when I was growing up, there was very few bands or anything else that allowed me to be accepted into the area I lived. So it's like growing up, I knew about Grandmaster Flash. I knew about Rabin Duke. Didn't matter to me. They're black. Beastie Boys was the first time that there was a mainstream, if you can call it that, a big enough rap group that was white, that made it across the country, that allowed me to be who I am. So, fuck, I remember like the day it fucking happened. Like going to school one
License
day.
to Ill. What
I-
a fucking
Good
album,
album,
dude.
bro.
I am not
That's a good album.
bullshitting.
License to fucking Ill.
That's a good album.
That's a badass name for an album, too. They know what they
Every
was doing.
time I see it on sale, I buy the motherfucker. No shit. I've got. You can
I
ask,
know. You don't have to say no shit.
You
I
can
already
ask
know.
me.
Oh, shit.
I've got like 35 copies sealed of that
License to
motherfucker.
Ill, baby.
I've got the 19.
Supporting the cause.
I've got the original copy. I got Paul's Boutique, the original copy. I've got Paul's Boutique sealed. Yeah, I don't fuck around.
I know.
But you get like Beastie Boys. I was in second or third grade when they came out.
License to Ill.
And like,
Dude.
like one day, seriously, I run the last block between my neighborhood and the school from where I lived at that time. And it was just, you either run or catch an ass whooping. And like the next day, I was getting ready to run the gauntlet, as we called it, the 6 of us white people. And
Sean's trying to laugh. I hear him.
Yeah, there was somebody stopped me like several houses before, and they were getting ready to walk with me. They were making it so I didn't have to run. And they were like, "Yo,
But
Have
those white dudes though.
have you heard this License to Ill?" And I ain't got a clue what the fuck you're talking about. Seriously. No, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've never listened to radio. Even when I worked at the radio station, I didn't listen to radio. So he tells me about it. We walked to school. He's talking about the Beastie Boys, MCA, Mike D.
You
and
and
me
me,
had
Mike
rock.
D.
And I was like, word? No shit.
I was like, word.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
And this dude's like legit, man. Well, not back then. It was like, I swear, man. They're rocking it. And I was, oh shit. This is before word. I was like,
No shit.
This is before word.
yeah, this is before word.
They're rocking it, bro.
They're rocking it. And I was
swear.
like, they're rocking the rock box.
They're rocking the fucking rock box.
And he was like, yeah.
They're fucking
I was like-
rocking it.
This was like I'm watching a shitty fucking B film. You
Like-
ready to film?
King of Rock. They're doing that? Yeah.
It's like Jay and Silent Bob right now.
Yeah. I was like, shit, I gotta look this shit up. So I found a copy. And you don't understand.
You connected.
It's funny because I say this shit, and when I talk to Vanilla Ice to you common folk, Rob Van Winkle. Yeah.
Jesus
When I talked
Christ.
to Rob about this, it was just like we knew the same motherfuckers. Because I was like, Beastie Boys made it easy for me to go from my house to school because they knew one of us.
They changed my life.
I ain't going that far, Sweaty Betty. You and your
but-
sweaty balls?
But they really
no.
did. They are
No, they-
they're
no, they-
sweaty
Oh,
now.
what's
No.
going on?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I could see that though. Like being in an environment you were in.
Yeah, so it's the
And having
Beastie
the
Boys,
Beastie Boys kinda make
License to
things-
Ill.
Like oh,
Uh,
yeah.
What's funny is the Beastie Boys, License to Ill, opened a shitload of doors, and Vanilla Ice slammed them bitches shut.
I could definitely see that.
That actually makes sense.
makes so much sense.
So when Vanilla Ice came to my town, you may be able to Google this shit.
You're like, Jesus Christ, they ruined Freddie Mercury.
I was there. But I got tickets from WMEE 97.3. Google it. But it was Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. It was that tour, I think 89. I had tickets. And because Vanilla Ice had gotten out of pocket at some of his like Arsenio Hall tapings
Yeah.
and the Grammys
Jesus Christ.
and shit like that, they were like, yo, fuck this white boy. So there was a thing where if Vanilla Ice goes on stage, Hammer's not going to. Or if Vanilla Ice goes on stage,
yeah.
there's fixing to be a problem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we didn't get the full
Beastie Boys
concert.
opened the door, Vanilla Ice closed them.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, it was, which is
Jesus.
weird because I do look at Vanilla Ice as like the transition of completing the rest of everything else.
Right.
But new metal. Because I
But
feel
nu
like
metal.
there's
Because that's Limp Bizkit, too. Limp Bizkit's
there's a
fucking nu
connection
metal.
with
You
you
can
and
go
new
fuck
metal.
yourself.
No, but so I know you bring up new metal. This is something I've always wanted to ask you. Is like, how do you feel about Rage Against the Machine?
Because they're new metal for sure.
Because they're new metal as fuck,
Yeah.
but like Zach De La Rocha is like a legit fucking hip hop
The
artist.
beauty, I will say, I've really kind of appreciated the beauty of new metal lately because
It's so good.
there's
It's so
no like the fact that
Like Slipknot, Korn.
like all these bands I'm about to name
Don't be a pussy.
are they have their own sound. Like you could try to copy them and they're going to have their own sound. You're not going to be able to like replicate that sound. So you got like System of a Down has their own sound.
I know, man.
Korn
Seven Dust
has their own sound.
Slipknot.
Linkin Park, Slipknot, Deftones,
Nine Inch
all
Nails.
these
I've seen all of them.
all these bands,
Doesn't surprise me.
all these bands like fit into this category, but they're their own music in their own way.
Yeah, they're very like you said, like it's new metal, but it's all such a fucking. Every single band is like it could be its own category.
Yeah, it's like you can't replicate Slipknot and Corey Taylor.
No,
you
you
can't
couldn't.
replicate
No.
Fred Durst and the energy they bring to the
Jesus
stage.
Christ.
Well, are
Shit's
you
on
going to
Fred Durst
replicate? Are you saying that Slipknot and who is a Shinedown
Korn
are not the same band?
or any. I'm saying that
No.
like anybody
I
inside
don't-
of new metal are
no.
very similar bands.
You know where I'm going with this.
I don't.
I'm listening. I'm
I
listening
don't.
What you got?
Because when you said Shinedown and Slipknot in the same sentence,
Who's the guy from Slipknot? What's his other band?
oh, Stone Sour.
Sour, yeah.
Stone Sour. Okay, so are you saying those are not?
No,
the
they're
same.
so different. They're
They
so
are.
different.
They are.
However, what's different about them?
Whoa.
Because the same guy is writing both of them. So you're going to tell me that Kid Rock, who I call Can't Rock, because I remember seeing him back when he
back.
wasn't shit, and he still isn't shit to me.
Still some shit. I knew it was coming. It was so good.
I remember seeing him back when his hair was 6 inches tall, and he was yodeling off a fucking mountain about an egg fucking sandwich.
Whoa.
Google it.
Kid
Yeah.
Rock yodeling about an egg sandwich.
He was yodeling off of something. I remember seeing that
I
motherfucker
know a guy who
put a
yodels.
flyer on my
I
car.
really need to meet this guy.
Yeah. He about called
hold
an ass
on.
whooping, putting a flyer on my car.
Sean just said, I know a guy that yodels. And we act like that he didn't say it.
Yeah.
Sean who?
This guy right here.
I wouldn't say it
Hi, I'm
again.
Sean. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. I was hoping he had like somebody else in there.
I got you.
No.
Yeah, but
I know-
Evanel,
I know-
in a fantasy league, he's a
I know a
yodeler.
guy that yodels. How many people can say that? Was this Beer Fest?
Well, I just happen to know a guy who actually like legitly yodels.
I pretty much know a guy that
good.
does everything.
He's fucking good.
If you bring it up, I can probably find that guy.
But yodeling.
Kid Rock.
I know him. He put a fucking flyer on my car.
He put a flyer in my car and about caught an ass whooping because he wouldn't leave the group. And then we went inside and seen him perform.
Okay, but Stone Sour and Slipknot are
Okay.
vastly different.
I don't know the two of them are separate. So I can't say that. But my thing is, you can't have one person without bleeding into the other.
Oh, I agree with that, and I think like even like Stone Sour's heaviest song doesn't touch Slipknot's softest song.
One's hard rock.
Like picture what's like Three Doors Down is Stone Sour and fucking Limp Bizkit is Slipknot. That's the genres. Yodeling in the Valley by
Yep.
Kid Rock.
There you go. Mid-90s.
Grit sandwich for breakfast.
I ain't bullshitting.
He was trying to be like that southern dude.
I am. No, this is
doesn't
He's from
surprise me.
Detroit.
this
too.
is mid-90s. His hair looked like Kid and Play.
It was hot top.
Yeah.
Really?
He said
I
6
am-
inches tall.
I am
remember
not
saying he did say that.
bullshitting. This is
Holy
early
fuck.
mid-90s.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up, man.
Yeah, people think I walk around spitting bullshit, but that is not.
People do think that. You
Yeah.
thought it for a second. It's so easy
That
to
is
do.
not. Yeah,
I don't.
it's. I have been. No, it's-
I
I've been-
learned physics.
I've been so far.
I'm gonna use that shit.
Yeah,
I can do math. I took physics.
I've taken physics, fucker. There you go. Yodeling in the Valley.
Yodeling.
Kid Rock. That
What's
album is
up?
trash.
It's trash.
So
He-
is that what
He
made
gave
you
it to
hate-
me, and I threw it away.
Okay, is that
It
what,
didn't make it the 3 hours.
is that what made you hate on Kid Rock? Is the fact that he tried to be something else other than Detroit, and then when he got famous, he put Detroit City back on the map?
That motherfucker didn't put shit on shit.
He says he did.
I think I just
That's
put
his
shit on
words.
shit earlier.
You do
no.
realize I can say anything I want to. Doesn't make it true.
That's true. That's true.
So, what gets me is when Kid Rock was doing his "Devil Without a Cause."
Devil
without a cause, rock and roll
and I'm
Jesus.
back
Yeah.
rewind slaps and
He
black
was-
fat back.
Yeah. He was banging.
Bars.
He was banging. He was not selling units in Detroit. Yeah. If you look at Kid Rock's units sold, they are not
In Detroit.
in Detroit, Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If you look at most of his albums sold, they're from around here.
From the South. That's why he caters to like.
Why do you think he lives in Nashville?
I'm a cowboy, babe. That's why he caters to that.
But there's
Makes
something
sense.
There's some party side of Kid Rock that correlates
Kid Rock
to,
could
hair
not
metal.
make
to
it.
hair metal.
Kid Rock
yeah.
could not make it in Detroit or New York.
Them motherfuckers weren't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah, they
No.
weren't trying to hear that shit.
They want to
wanna
hear
a white
all-
dude act like he's
They
hard.
no,
There you go.
Detroit wanted to
Now-
hear, and New York wanted to hear authenticity.
Now,
Not somebody who
That's
was
what the Beastie Boys did. They were like, we're fucking dorks, but guess what? We'll party like we're dorks.
here's a funny fact for you. You can Google Detroit and like windbreakers and find them wearing like Troop or Fila windbreakers, wearing like Nike shoes. The shit don't even fucking match. And they were
He's
owning
going
the-
so deep right
He's
now.
going so
It's
deep,
yeah,
dude.
they were owning that shit.
I fucking love it too.
They were owning that shit. But when Kid Rock came out with Devil Like Cause, I was in those streets.
Devil without a cause.
Yes.
That's some badass shit. 'cause
It's
we don't-
sad but true.
And
They-
you know why
they-
we like
they
it?
got
Because
the-
we don't know shit about it.
Well, they
It's-
got yes.
I mean, I don't really
exactly.
like Kid Rock.
Yeah,
Kid
we're
Rock's
not.
fucking
I
retarded.
own.
It's party
over-
music.
You can ask my son. I own over 600 CDs. That is one of them.
Devil without a cause.
That is in
whole-
my top 600.
Dude, that song.
His
it's-
top 600.
It is.
That's a big list.
What else is in your top 600?
Shit.
600, 599 other songs,
No, it's
albums, or whatever.
there's a lot of stuff. I've got Tool in there. I've got Korn in there.
Tool, what a goddamn band.
Yeah.
dude.
I've got Sister Sledge in there. I've got a bunch of Motown, bunch of ICP and Psychopathic Records. Michael Jackson.
You gotta have Michael Jackson in this shit.
It is literally a who's who of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now I'm not saying it's rock and roll, and I ain't saying it's Hall of Fame, but it's a who's who of.
I got you.
No, I think
There's Frank Sinatra,
we-
Dean Martin.
we referred to this shit last week. We were talking about Kanye West. That's a fucking rock star. Dude's a fucking rock star. As much if you don't like
is.
Kanye West, it doesn't make a fuck. He's a rock star,
He's
dude.
a fucking rock
Here's
star, dude.
here's the issue,
You're right,
and
and I hate to say it.
I know he's a fucking rock star. He don't give a fuck.
here's the.
That was the hardest fuck up thing I dropped on this podcast.
This is probably
Nah, man,
the
probably
most
not.
political
There's no
thing.
way.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh, here we
And-
go. Hot take, baby. I love some hot takes.
I run my house like a Republican.
Dude, I heard this. I thought
sorry,
it too.
sorry.
I thought it too.
My house is ran like a pirate ship. There's a bunch of cussing and possibly a mutiny. But
Okay,
my
I like
house
that. I
is
like
also
that.
run like a republic because everybody gets a vote.
I heard it again.
I just don't give a fuck what your vote is.
Okay, so also like a Republican.
Yeah. So, but on the same token, this is my hottest of hot takes. So
Hot take.
The hottest. 'Cause I feel like you got
the,
a lot
the
of
best
hot
part
takes
is
in there.
we had an idea before we started the podcast of having like a hot take segment, but we never told anybody about it.
We
And
never
you just brought this segment up without us even mentioning shit to you. So hot take incoming.
this is, I don't talk political, and I know you guys don't either. This is as far as I'm willing to go that we can put our hands up and walk away from afterwards.
Okay.
So I go into my doctor's office, and it was around the 2020 presidential debate election.
Oh man, this is a bad direction.
Is this where you got the finger in your ass or different
No,
time?
I'll tell that
Have you
story
got a finger in
too.
you?
This is a whole different thing.
Different story.
But
By a stranger.
my doctor asked me if I was voting Democrat or Republican. I said, I don't know because I don't talk about that shit.
It's a good answer.
That is a good answer, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, fuck you.
I said-
have some boundaries.
I don't care
But-
what the correlation to my political ideas
Yeah, who the fuck
are.
cares?
Let
Shut
me
the
just
fuck up.
give me
But-
what's best for me. Like I don't.
I've got a really good relationship with my doctor. And it's not like, we're just patient and everything and we don't see each other. We know each other.
Okay.
So I said, I'm pretty much winging it still. Where do you stand? And she
Winking
said,
it still.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out the day, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
40.
What you talking
Winging
about?
it still.
I'm just trying to figure out where she's at.
Talking about economics? What the fuck?
No, I'm trying to
I've taken.
trying to
taking
figure
physics.
out where she's at so I can get my meds.
Right.
So I asked her, where you at? And she was like, I think I'm voting Joe because of the way Trump is going. Then I was, all right, I ain't political. I don't give a fuck one way or another. I vote for the least of both the evils. They're both going to fuck us. So what does it matter? And she says she doesn't agree with Trump because of blah, blah, blah. And she gave her
yeah.
reasons. I said to her, you do realize this motherfucker's a carnival barker.
What's
He
the
was, he was on WWE.
And she's,
You're fired.
what do you mean? And I'm just a carnival barker. The guy doesn't always produce what he says he's going to.
Hell about the show.
Yeah,
Hell about the show.
about the show.
Man, baby.
It's a WWE. It's a WWE. No, listen, man. I don't.
WWE.
That's some
goes-
WWE in that motherfucker.
He's
dude.
he's a huge WWE fan.
Yeah.
Like
I
legit.
is.
Like he
I used to be.
holding up signs at the fucking
Yeah.
recent
Oh,
ones.
told you
That
about
said,
it.
Brandon, what did the sign say?
Blake kisses pigs.
Blake sucks dicks or something.
Blake kisses pigs.
Oh.
Yeah, way different.
It's
than
got
what
it's
the fuck
got it's got a way deeper petty meaning
I'll send
behind
you-
it. So it's a petty thing.
Yeah, I'll send you those pictures too, faggot.
Okay, so where are we at?
I don't even know.
Fucking no.
WWE Trump, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
Trump.
but it was
Yeah.
just like with everything else. I don't agree with half the shit I stand behind. It's you can't. But when it comes down to it, you've got to understand what your market is and what your market's doing. And it's that way if you're going to hustle anything, it's you've got to understand what your market is and what the market is you're trying to hustle. And you look around at who likes them, who doesn't. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter to me one way or another. We're fucked regardless. But at the end of the day, you either have to do your own math, your own physics, as you guys keep fucking throwing at me, or you got to accept what it is what it is.
You're going to have to deal with the hand that's dealt to you, regardless of who's in power.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Because that person in power is not going to look after you and how your individuality, like where you're at as a human
basically
being.
what Bob Dylan was saying back in the
Nobody's
going
going to save
That's
you.
some Bob Dylan shit.
No, and that's it. And that was the only example I had because that was the example she brought to me. And it was, he might not be the best person for the job. That doesn't involve me at all.
Right.
But you got to understand the difference between what's said and what's done.
That's spot on.
That's the
That's
carnival
fucking spot on.
barker of it all.
Man,
And it's that way across the board with everything.
I've honestly never heard of the term carnival barker.
Oh, yeah.
But that's fucking spot on.
Snake
That's fucking
oil.
spot on. But man, it's been a fucking great podcast.
It really has.
It's been so fucking
it
fun.
It really has, man.
I knew like I wanted to have you on here as soon as we started the fucking podcast. I told you about it like whenever we
Yeah.
were starting. I was like, you're gonna be on here at some point. I told you that the first day we fucking started the podcast, I was like, you will be on this podcast.
And when, like, it's like you said earlier, when you have someone who like believes in someone, and that person's shitty, like you, like I'll believe it in Bryant. I know that like if anybody he has come on, it's going to be amazing.
He is pretty shitty.
And he is.
Dude, you don't want to know, man. It's been straight
No.
diarrhea for 3
But
weeks.
I was with you,
it's
Vaughn.
been
So
fun
shitty.
to
I do know.
it's been fun to put a face with a name. I've been able to do that a little bit lately with him bringing on some guys, and you're one of those guys I want to have on again.
Absolutely.
It's been so
Absolutely.
much fun.
It's whenever it's
He's retired. He's retired, bro.
even if I find here's another caveat for you guys. Don't ever retire when you're not ready to fully retire, because finding a job as you're retired is hard,
I could see that
because they know,
this company is looking for the future,
yeah, they don't
and
need,
you're
you don't
retired.
need their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard to
Right.
get back
you're
into the
looking for that
market.
Pleasure, yeah. But look, guys, it's been a fucking pleasure. Dude,
has.
it's good to see you, and I'm glad we could do it in this fashion where we can
Yes,
see
good to
see
talk with
Yeah.
you,
We
dude.
can see you for 3 fucking hours and just shoot the shit, man. We
Yeah,
can talk.
really
We can
could.
talk shit.
Sorry,
we can say
Michael.
stupid stuff.
Eddie.
That's fucking awesome. So, cheers, guys, and we appreciate you, Mitch. I'm glad you came on here.
Yes, good to
Love
see
you, buddy.
and we'll see you
Hey, I
again.
love you too, man. See you guys.
See you guys.